This includes drinking plenty of water, staying in an air conditioned environment as much as possible, and checking on elderly neighbors, friends, and relatives. Those in need of a cooling shelter should call the United Way at 211. Pet owners should also keep their pets in an air conditioned environment as much as possible. Now, anyone who sees an animal in distress should call their nearest law enforcement agency. Jill Enders, KTRS News.
Legislation championed by State Senator Christopher Belt to expand access to mental health resources and strengthen suicide prevention efforts has been signed into law. The new law will increase awareness of the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline by requiring contact information for the service be prominently displayed in public buildings throughout Illinois. The law will also expand mental health education for students in grades 6 through 12 by incorporating evidence-based suicide prevention instruction into comprehensive health education courses. Cardinals fans can breathe a little easier when attending a game downtown. Busch Stadium ranks 12th in the big leagues for cleanest air this summer. The study came from sports platform The Lines, which tracked hourly fine particulate pollution across all 30 MLB ballparks throughout July and surveyed 3,000 baseball fans nationwide. The survey found 22% of Cardinals fans would still attend the games, clean air or not. This KTRS Business Minute is brought to you by Walter Knoll Florist, the place for all your floral needs. Place your order anytime at WKF.com. Illinois is growing its international business relationships. Governor J.B. Pritzker and other state leaders were joined by officials to announce a new agreement between the state and the Republic of Indonesia. The deal will focus on expanding trade, opening new markets for Illinois farmers, and strengthening cooperation across business, education, and workforce development. In 2024, Illinois exported more than $715 million to Indonesia, which is the largest economy in Southeast Asia. A check now on the markets presented by JBL Financial. Tune in for Straight Talk on Retirement. Saturdays from 9 until 11 here on the Big 550. At the close, the Dow down 60 at 53,975. S&P 500 down 4 at 77.53. The NASDAQ down 85 at 26,605. Let's go to the Royal Banks of Missouri Sports Desk, where the Marcel Hartle news still isn't official, but the talented goal scorer is moving on from City SC. Hartle is already back in his native Germany, where he will play for Hannover 96. City moves on without him starting Saturday in San Jose. All right, let's go over to the traffic center where Joe Davis is filling in for the good Captain Paul Kopsky this afternoon. Good afternoon, Joe.
Good afternoon, Brendan. The Lindbergh exit on 64 West is partially blocked due to debris causing slow traffic. The eastbound exit ramp from 370 to 270 South is closed due to construction. And the 270 South exit ramp to Manchester 100 is closed due to construction. We also have slow traffic in Lake St. Louis on 64 West between 364 and 70. From the KTRS Traffic Center, I'm Joe Davis on the Big 550 KTRS.
All right, Joe, thank you. Let's get to that weather forecast. Extreme heat warning in effect through at least Wednesday night. Most of the showers and storms dried up this afternoon. There's still a few showers out there, though, especially north and into the metro east. Nothing heavy or severe. And where it's not raining, we've got temperatures going up into the mid-90s. Heat index has already eclipsed triple digits. Tonight, under partly cloudy skies, will only drop to about 78. Tomorrow, hot, humid. We'll have highs warmer than today in the upper 90s. Maybe some rain moving back in for Wednesday and Thursday. At 3:09, we have 94 degrees and cloudy skies at Westport Plaza with a heat index of 107. For the Talk of St. Louis, I'm Brendan Wiese on the Big 550 KTRS.
Embrace the darkness at Nocturnal by Nature. It's a free family event Saturday, August 15th from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. It's happening at the Bush Conservation Area, 2360 Highway D in St. Charles. You'll discover what goes on when the sun goes down. See live owl presentations, explore an inflatable cave and night hikes, meet real night creatures, dissect owl pellets, get mesmerized by moths, and probe the night sky through a telescope. And free snow cones to boot. Come experience the Nocturnal in your nature.
Inland Marine Boats in Barnard has been serving your boating needs for 40 years. Hi, I'm Jim, and this is my son, Ryan.
Remember, you only get 18 summers with your kids. Make the most of them with a boat from Inland Marine Boats, your Mercury Marine dealer.
What have we learned about Heidi?
But cockroaches were the least of her problems. Heidi had to fight for every opportunity.
You know, Heidi is, even though she's very kind of sweet and innocent,
Heidi wanted out of the slum, and her agent wasn't doing enough.
Oh my God, they moved Heidi right next to me now.
Although Heidi seems serene,
she's a bit naughty.
she uses an ancient folk remedy to help calm her down.
Heidi is back.
Well, I don't know about you, but Monday always gets here just a little too quickly for me. But I'm happy to be here with you guys. Heidi Glaus with Josh Gilbert and Bob Ramsey, and we've got a lot to get to today. I hope you'll hang out with us for the next 3 hours. First up, we're going to talk to our AI guy who is today going to tackle the subject of robots. Are we ready for robots, and is this the day and age that we actually are introduced to them? And what equals a robot? Are we talking about our, floor cleaners, the Roomba that roams around? Is that technically a robot? Or are we talking about the Jetsons and Rosie, the robot?
Sassy, back-talking robots.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Danger Will Robinson.
Yeah, that guy with the arms.
So Ken Lawler will walk us through all of that so that we're informed. Then a little later in the 3 o'clock, we'll talk to ABC's health and science reporter. The latest food outbreaks include lettuce and jalapenos. So are you staying clear of that? What do you need to know? We'll tell you all about that in the 3 o'clock. Then in the 4 o'clock, Ryan Krull will join us from St. Louis Magazine, and he's covering a couple of really interesting stories. Greater St. Louis Inc. is kind of shuffling the deck, but are they shuffling the deck on the people in charge? Are they shuffling the deck on what's planned for downtown St. Louis? They're kind of the most vocal advocate for getting downtown St. Louis back. So we'll break all of that down. We'll also talk about this crazy car theft and how it's being done, how maybe you can stay protected. And then we'll talk about a hero in the St. Louis Streets Department. That's all coming up. We'll also get the latest in the Middle East from Jordana Miller with ABC. And then in the 5 o'clock, we're going to be joined by the president, CEO of the Muni. There are only 2 shows left. And then one big, fantastic concert with Lionel Richie. So we'll talk to Kofi, maybe do a little look back and a look ahead with him coming up at about 5:10. We've got some other entertainment news, and then we'll wrap this show up with some randoms. I have a question for you guys, and you guys here in the studio and you guys on the text line, the KTRS text line, 84126. I was eating my lunch at my desk today, and out of nowhere is a gnat. Now, this gnat has a 10 by 10 room that it can float around in, but it just continues to circle me and my food, and I'm trying to chase it the whole time, and I feel like it just kind of comes back. Every time you try to swat at it, it's almost like it's playing a game with you, getting a little closer. Do you feel that way when there's a gnat around?
Sometimes. And so you can't just kind of absentmindedly swat away. You've got to be dedicated
to just smacking
that
it.
you are a killer,
Mm-hmm.
and it's you versus him.
And I got him.
There you go.
But it is so annoying. I think they are one of the most annoying things on the planet.
Yeah. Even worse than flies.
Yeah, I think so because I think flies you can kind of shoo away. Gnats, they're quick.
They don't seem very smart.
Gnats?
to me. Yes, the gnat. Because again,
I did not expect that sentence.
they keep floating. They don't fly very fast.
No,
they
but
float
they're
around. They come back
elusive.
for more. No, you can get a good, boom. Oh, got him.
Yeah,
You know?
or a grab of the.
Oh,
yeah. That's what I feel like Mr. Miyagi when he used to catch
the
the
chopsticks.
chopsticks. If you
Yeah.
can catch it with your hand, I feel like that's a pretty big win.
This was a gross thing we used to do in the old warehouse on the overnights. The place would just be loaded with flies, and get a good rubber band and cut it so you can make almost like a
Oh.
slingshot, and then you would take aim and try and let it go.
How good did you get?
Pretty good. It was kind of a fun,
Do you let go of the entire rubber band or just the end?
just the end, so it snaps
Like a
like
whip.
a whip.
Did
Yeah.
you ever accidentally let go of the wrong end and it came back and slapped you?
I did not.
Okay.
That might have been a test to see if you're eligible to work there.
Yeah. Did you accidentally ever hit one of your coworkers with it?
No,
Accidentally. Wink.
Mm-hmm.
no, but sometimes the carcasses are gross if you really nail them.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
My sister's got this thing, the bug assault.
Mm-hmm.
It's a gun.
Does it work?
I've never seen it
Oh.
in action. It's a gun.
Is it out of the box?
It's out of the box. It's a gun. You fill it with table salt, and you cock it and shoot. And
It's like a shotgun, right?
yes, it shoots table salt at the flies, and apparently it knocks them out of the air, and then you go over and just pick them up.
Yeah, it's like a mini shotgun, or like a 22 with bird shot instead of a bullet.
Yeah. So you've never seen this, Heidi?
I saw it on TV, but
No,
I had
but
no idea if it worked.
I kind of want one now.
I mean, they still have it. They keep it around. They say it works. I've never seen it really in action.
Somebody said I've got one too, Josh. It's an assault weapon for flies.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Now, keep in mind, then you're gonna have salt all around your house.
That is true. Mr. Miyagi tried to catch flies. Danielson is the one who caught the fly.
I don't remember that part.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Daniel did catch one.
I mean, after trying,
And-
right?
But it really frustrated Miyagi
Uh-huh.
because it was like the goal that you can never reach, but you keep trying to get better. And Daniel
Oh,
saw
I
him.
remember I
did
got
it.
one. I got one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it really was frustrating.
And that's why he
His-
made him wax his car.
Well, that could be.
By the way, grew up with that movie.
I saw it as an adult. I loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It
But I
was,
learned after time, Daniel's really the jerk of the movie.
Oh yeah.
He caused all the problems.
Well, you
All of 'em.
could recut the movie. And by the way, the end kick I think is an illegal kick.
No, they even
To the
said the
face.
rule before the
Yeah.
match.
Yeah.
and this is how the show gets off on a tangent.
No, I still think he's the hero, but what was that? What was that TV show on YouTube?
Cobra Kai.
Yeah, the follow up. Did you watch that?
Yeah, a couple of seasons in, it kind of wore out after a while. I may go back. It's really schlocky.
Yeah.
But
I've heard a lot of people like it,
but
though.
kind of fun.
Yeah. Going back to the fly situation, because we got a lot of texts. I catch flies with a steel dustbuster. That is really
neat.
some suction there.
Okay.
Gnats are the worst from our friend Susan. I frequently get them in the kitchen and have a canister with a lid for veggies compost, and I think they're attracted to that.
Yeah.
They are darn fast, too darn fast, she said. Somebody else said we use the electrified racket for flies. I've seen those. Does that work? You know, it has a little...
Yeah.
I haven't seen that.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I think it's marginally effective.
Okay.
Is it like a
Looks like a little mini tennis racket, and it's got batteries. So there's a little zzz when you hit them. Little zapper.
Yeah, a little zapper that you
Like
can
a
kind of swing.
bug
Yeah.
zapper in your hand?
Yeah.
Now, we do have,
Huh.
especially in the spring, we have a wasp problem out on our deck. I use a regular tennis racket, and it's kind of fun.
And you can hit them.
Well, you miss more than you hit, but when you do get one, it's pretty good.
Well, you ever get stung?
I have not.
So with the electric tennis racket, you ever accidentally hit your coworkers with that? As
I don't
well?
think that it is going to shock you that much.
No? My brother had one of those electric dog collars
Yeah.
for his dog.
Yeah.
And we spent one Thanksgiving shocking all the cousins.
Oh, that makes complete sense.
Well, you know.
Yeah, we
No,
know.
I don't.
You don't. You don't because you're a girl.
Uh-huh.
But the boys can relate.
It's funny because my sister and I were having this conversation over the weekend. We were watching my nephew do something silly, and I'm like, they really don't think the same way.
No, they do not.
No, we
as
don't.
girls. But we had a great weekend. We went to the lake on Friday night, and actually, Marcia is out of town for a couple days, and my brother-in-law and my nephew were tied up on Friday, so my sister and I decided we'd go down to the lake in Cuba and surprise my parents. They didn't know. They knew we were going to come down Saturday morning, but they didn't know we were going to surprise them on Friday night. So we get there, and it's a gated community, so you have to punch in a code if you don't have a card. And so had to punch in the code a couple of times because my mom didn't open it fast enough. So obviously she knows I'm there. And as we're rolling into the house, I said, you know what's going to happen here. You know, they're going to say, hi, hey, Heidi. And then all of a sudden they're going to see that my sister is with me, and it's going to immediately turn to Jody's here. And it happened not once, but twice. Mom comes out and all of a sudden looks in my car and said that, Jody. And I'm like, And then my sister's just kind of laughing. And then we go into the house, and my dad has the same reaction. I'm like, look, you guys just sealed the deal on who's
Heidi,
the favorite here.
Well, Heidi, now normally for these conversations, you'd have to lay down on a couch, and we'd charge you about $150 an hour.
This is true.
So I don't know if we want to go there just now.
Yeah.
But you want to go with that and talk about what that's meant to you?
We're talking about Heidi's 5'7" blonde, younger sister.
Yes, all of those things. Who birthed the children?
Who have children. And Heidi is.
And here I am with a tattoo and
5'2"
talking on the radio.
tattoos.
She's also a doctor of psychology. If we gotta point it all out, I think that says it all right there. Actually, my mom just had to say, you know, you're so dramatic. You're always going to make this a bigger deal.
It sounds pretty apparent.
Well, go with that.
I think so too.
How do you go with that? Why does that make you feel?
Pretty obvious.
I think I'm on Heidi's side on this one.
I know. Let's talk about one
Do you have
other
any
thing.
ill will toward your sister in these moments?
Yes.
That is funny that we were talking about a couple little things, and like going to the doctor when you were a kid, and how you can still remember what that doctor's office smelled like. And we had, I don't know about you guys, did you get your throat swabbed a lot?
Yes.
And you know, they don't do it now. Like my niece and nephew have never gotten their throat
ever
swabbed.
They may have a better way to do it, I guess.
But I mean, I just remember pulling up to that. Yeah, and the same doctor my mom and dad saw as kids, and we were talking about how awful this was. And my mom was sharing this story about my, smart, beautiful sister when she was little.
You could have just said your sister.
No. Ate an entire bottle of baby aspirin. At least Mom thought she had.
Was fed
well,
an entire?
And that's what my sister said. Come to think of it.
You cut all of her hair off.
Maybe I was, told to eat the baby aspirin.
Yeah.
But we were talking about this
Here, sis.
doctor. Dr. Herbert was his name. And when my mom took my sister to the emergency room and had to have Dr. Herbert paged, he treated her and then at the end said to my mom, this was your fault, right? That's the kind of doctor he was. Like, you are going to get...
Yikes.
He laid it out there.
But do you guys have a story like that about a doctor or going to the doctor when you were little and just dreading like that smell in the office itself?
Bedside manner was not always a big thing.
No.
When I was little, I had tons of earaches. Finally got my tonsils out, and it cleared it all up.
Really?
But, going a lot. Overland Medical Center.
I had strep throat as a kid.
Did you have your tonsils removed too?
4 times. They said if I had it one more time, they would take them out, but I never did, so I still have them in there. Is the thing?
That's why you're sick all the time.
It might be. Maybe it's time to take them out now.
Is the thing hanging down in the back? Is that your tonsils?
No, that's
something
is it
else.
a uvula or something?
Yes, it's something like
Can
that.
you see your tonsils?
I can't.
Right. Well, you.
No, I don't think you can just look in the mirror and see.
I always thought the hanging, dangling thing was your tonsils. And I always thought they put a little cup in there and they cut it and it boop, dropped in the cup.
Well, that'd be easy.
Yeah, right.
And that's why you're not a surgeon.
Exactly.
Well, he
But-
gets all of his medical advice from the cartoons.
Uh-huh.
Well, I think somebody told me that you ever have this happen? Somebody tells you something when you're 6, and then you become 36 and you still believe
You
it.
just assume it's true.
You just, it's never been corrected. But I've had that throat swab so many times. And the only thing I can equate to that is during COVID, when they said, we're going to jam this thing as far up your nose as possible.
Awful.
And you're like, oh, and you're holding on to the chair as,
Terrible.
It is awful. Somebody actually pointed that out before you even said it. The old swab for COVID needed for before surgery. They stuck that thing into your brain.
Yes, yes. I'd rather have a shot.
But get this, my mom's grandma, my great grandma, used to swab all the kids' throats there at the house. Like she knew what she was doing, and I guess
just for fun?
That's what I said. To prevent sore throats or to heal
She
them,
had a
I guess.
lab in the back or something?
She was something, for sure.
Josh, I think tonsils and adenoids out.
You going to take him out?
Get on the workbench. Let's see what you got. Put your head in the vise.
All right.
It'll be interesting. You guys hang out with us, will you? Ken Lawler, the AI guy, is going to join us. We're going to talk about robots.
Mike Lippert here for Lisi Lumber, a family-owned company that's been serving the area since 1872. You've heard McGraw mention our knowledgeable staff, excellent customer service, and the best of woods. We're now producing and delivering custom prefabricated trellises, pavilions, and pergolas. Union-made, union-delivered. Homeowners and do-it-yourselfers are going to love these. Got an idea? Send a sketch and some dimensions and we'll take care of the rest. For the best of woods and prefabricated outdoor dreams, call Lisi Lumber 234-0105 or LisiLumber.com.
What does the Science Center, Lambert Airport, the Magic House, McDonnell Douglas, and St. Louis firehouses all have in common? They all trusted their roof to Beatty Roofing. Beatty Roofing has been in business for 70 years. They're not storm chasers. They're based right here in St. Louis, and they've been doing it right for 70-plus years. And if you need a roofer, Beatty Roofing. In fact, first responders get an extra 10% off all roofs. 314-892-1331 or online, BeattyRoofing.com.
With summer already upon us, it's time to think about heat and cooling. If you haven't already, take a look at Indoor Comfort Team Heating and Air Conditioning. Not only are they a local St. Louis company, owned and operated by our neighbors, but they're offering some fantastic promotions right now. The first, get a free second opinion from Indoor Comfort Team. If you're not sure about what another HVAC company has told you, that's all right. Reach out to Indoor Comfort Team, and they'll come out to give a second opinion and some peace of mind. If it turns out you need a new system, they can help with that too. Get $2,000 off a new Train system with no interest financing. You can even get a discount on their VIP maintenance membership program at only $19.99 a month right now. That's 24/7 priority service and support, permanent discounts, tune-ups, and more. Check them out and see why St. Louis has trusted them since 1979. That's IndoorComfortTeam.com
or call 314-894-8200.
Before you put your home on the market, before you have to pay money fixing it up to sell it, before you have to pay real estate commissions, call me. I'm Mike Robinson with Robank Properties, and I will buy your home. Any property, any condition, anywhere, and always as is. Call me, Mike Robinson with Robank Properties at 314-283-0867. That's 314-283-0867. You have nothing to lose when you call Robank Properties at 314-283-0867.
Everybody knows that Appliance Discounters is the place to go for the lowest price on appliances. Well, now, Appliance Discounters has just got better. When you swing by Appliance Discounters, they have an outlet store located at 9425 Gravois in Afton. That store is filled with slightly dinged and dented appliances. They have closeouts from one-of-a-kind appliances, and believe it or not, they're priced even lower than their other 4 showroom stores. So at Appliance Discounters, you get the prices that are up to 60% off the competition. They come with all full factory warranties and rebates. Even if you don't mind the small ding and the dent, you'll save big, and oftentimes that ding and that dent are on the side and the back, and you'll never see it. So you're getting a great price on something nobody will ever see. The outlet store is open Monday through Friday from 10 to 6 and on Saturday 10 to 5. Or you can always shop online, theappliancediscounters.com. That's theappliancediscounters.com. We'll see you there.
At Midland, we know sometimes all it takes is a moment for an idea to spark.
or to make it happen. A moment to find your dream or build one. A moment to start your forever, or at least start planning for it. Whatever moments you have, Midland is here for them and can help you make them. Midland, brighter together. Visit us at midlandsb.com. Midland States Bank is member FDIC.
Mom, what do you always say?
There's nothing sadder than jewelry that sits in a drawer.
That's why we are proud to offer jewelry repair on site at Newsetter's Fine Jewelry. We know that your jewelry is important to you, and we take that part of our job very seriously. Visit us at Doherty Ferry in Big Bend or learn more at wowdiamonds.com.
You're listening to the Heidi Glaus Show with Josh Gilbert and Bob Ramsey on the Big 550 KTRS.
It is 3:30 and time to check the traffic with Joe Davis. Hey, Joe.
Hey, Heidi. Yes, there is some construction work in O'Fallon on 64 West between Route K and 70 that is causing some congestion. The eastbound exit ramp from 370 to 270 South is closed due to construction. And 370 eastbound is reduced to 2 lanes in St. Charles from Newtown to Highway 94 due to road work. This traffic report is brought to you by Fielder Electric. See what everyone is saying about the pros at Fielder Electric. Whether it's a new build or a 100-year-old home, Fielder Electric has you covered. From the KTRS Traffic Center, I'm Joe Davis on the Big 550 KTRS.
AI is changing everything. Get the news, the tools, and what it means for you. It's Ken Lawler, the AI guy.
Is the robot revolution now? Ken Lawler, the AI guy, is back to talk robots. You know, there's a Jetsons remake in the works. They're going to do a live action. Is Rosie the robot next? I mean, she was so much fun. She was their housekeeper. Is that what we're talking about?
Isn't it fun to think back to the Jetsons
Yes.
and all the things that are actually coming true?
It's amazing.
I mean, we have flying drones now that are carrying people. They are producing them, so you can get into a flying drone. They had, I guess, an iteration of cell phone robots. I mean, all the things that we were just like blown
the
away
moving
by.
walkway, every airport.
Yes.
Right.
That's all true. So what kind of robots are we talking about?
So I don't want to scare anybody. I mean, this is not Skynet coming to get you. I know Josh loves that.
Skynet, Sarah Connor.
Yes.
Right?
So what this is basically is...
pardon my interruption again. Yet. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. What we've got primarily now is a lot of industrial robots. So there's robots who are sorting packages at Amazon. There's robots who are making burgers for a couple of the fast food places.
And is that basically an arm? It's not like a full-scale robot where it's like...
Yeah, I think people think when you think of robot, you think of eyes, a mouth, arms, whatever.
Danger, legs. Will Robinson.
Yeah, a lot of these are not that. Although Tesla Optimus, which is made by the same people as Tesla, that's coming out, his look like real robots. There's several of them that are out there right now. I just put money down on my first robot.
And what will this robot do?
This robot is Neo, and Neo looks like a person. It is soft, quilted skin, and Neo it's supposed to clean your house, make your salad, do some other chores, but it's trainable. And I primarily got it because I have a special needs son at home. And there's times and he needs somebody around him that just, kind of keeps an eye on him, right? There's times when we want to run to the store or we want to go run and grab a quick bite for 30 or 40 minutes, and to schedule help and this is not just our problem. I mean, there's anyone with special needs.
Yeah, of course.
Or parents or whatever have this problem. But Neo, I believe, will be able to sit and just interact with Blake while he's home. And he's got cameras in his eyes, so you can look and see that everything's okay. And he can let the dog out.
Wait. This one show, I just looked up Neo the robot. This shows him ironing.
Mm-hmm.
It shows him working the air fryer.
Yeah, that's bonus for me, but yes.
He's vacuuming.
So is Neo, how does he get around? On tracks or bipodal?
Oh, no, he walks. Yeah, he walks. He can carry a big box.
And how big is he?
I believe it's 160 pounds, I think.
About how tall?
Maybe in the 5-foot range.
Yeah, he looks like he's 5 foot
Can
tall.
you take him?
I don't know yet.
So you program him, or he comes automatically programmed?
He comes pre-programmed, but they are allowing, just like open source AI that's out there now, that you can do your own training. So he learns a lot by visuals. So like watching somebody do something, you'll show them, and then that's how
it
they
actually
learn.
learns.
That's how they learn.
Wow.
And that neural network is obviously in all the AI compute, but my thought is, again, this is just me. I have not a problem, but I have an issue. I need some help with Blake. Maybe Neo is someone that can help us with Blake, and just in those short little spurts.
All right, I have this is now a science fiction question. Maybe it's science fact. I don't know. But they show Neo walking down watering plants. Okay, so it sees me water the plants, and so it goes and does the same thing. But can a robot, can an AI system, the things that you've already seen so far, they say, I know I have to water the plants every day, but do they know further plants need water and sunlight to live? And if I don't water these plants every single day, they will wither and die because the water needs to get into the soil. Do they know all that? Or do they just
that's
know
simple. That's
at 5 p.m. I water the plants?
What you're talking about is what we talk about all the time in AI, which is context. So you give context to the robot, just like you give context to your AI bot or whatever. You give them the reasons behind why you're doing what you're doing, and they can assimilate that to whatever it is. In fact, they will be able to very quickly, if you were to tell them that this plant only needs water 3 times a week because it doesn't need quite as much water, it can identify that plant and water it differently than this plant over in this bed because it knows the difference.
I'm going to assume that Neo is not cheap.
Cheap. Listen, everything's on a spectrum, right? But I think it is right now the way they're billing it. If it happens this way, you can either buy one for $20,000, so the price of a small, used car.
Mm-hmm.
But if you think about what it can do, you might say, well, there's vacuums out there. The automatic vacuums are a couple $1,000s. So but they are allowing you to do it in a monthly, $500 a month,
like a lease.
Yeah, and. When you start looking at it like that, like it's maybe like a car payment or something, but what are you getting out of it? These robots can work 20 hours a day doing something.
Mm-hmm.
They recharge themselves. So if you figure what's 20 hours a day times 30 days a month, it's probably costing you $1 an hour.
Who's making Neo?
Neo is actually, it's coming out in 2026, but Neo is actually made by 1X. And 1X is a company that actually is putting that out. So, and there's all kinds of I think Tesla Optimus will be there. I think the Optimus will be even better than Neo.
Has 1X done other things that we would know?
No, they've been working on this for quite a while. So this is something that they're using this for not only consumer, but they're one of the only companies that's going down the consumer track. A lot of these companies are going down the commercial, obviously because that's where the money is.
Right.
Sure. I mean, if I can sort packages 20 hours a day, every day, and I don't take breaks, and I don't get mad, and I don't dislike my job, and all the things that go along with it, that can be pretty special.
So Josh and I, we can't get our heads out of science fiction. So apology for both of us. But this maybe has a dose of reality, trying to figure out how all this works. So will robots make the robots?
Yes,
you see what I mean?
The robots are already making a lot of stuff. I mean,
they've been working in car lines for decades.
Right. Robots are making a Tesla. I mean, if you go look at it, it's all robots putting it together. But I'd like to think about the human part of it. So, you know how many people bought pets over COVID?
Yeah.
The amount of people that bought pets over COVID outdoes anything that people bought pets for the last 20 years. People love their pets. They don't like their pets to be home by themselves. They don't like them to not get taken out. They don't like them to not get watered and fed and walked around the yard, or at least Neo can do that. Neo can let the dog out, let the dog back in, feed the dog, put the food in the bowl.
I could actually use
I mean, right. So think about it. So think about all the times when you go on a 2-day vacation, or you go somewhere you can't take your pet, and you're having to home it with something or get it out of its current situation, doesn't want to leave the home. Now you have something that can actually sit in the home and take care of that.
Okay, we got 2 questions for you. Can Neo climb stairs?
Yeah, I believe Neo will climb stairs. Yes,
okay.
that is something it can do.
And then someone else just said, I hate asking this, I really do, but can you train Neo to harm someone?
I think there's going to be some roadblocks and stuff like that. So they usually build in some things that, I mean, safety is of the utmost importance.
They do in the movies.
Yeah. Well, the movies take a little license with it.
Yeah.
But I think, they are definitely, that's probably why we don't even have them yet, because they're running down these safety rails right now. They're making sure that it can't fall on somebody and hurt somebody and that kind of stuff.
All right, so you see these videos on Instagram of the breakdancing robots, and then halfway through their routine, they, wig out and they fall.
There was a bunch of them on America's Got Talent with a guy that did a crazy dance that he
whole
trained.
routine?
Yes.
Did any of them wig out? The fun part is when they freeze up and then they go crazy, and then they just stop. And then somebody walks over and puts a sheet on top of it. But they have arms and legs and little heads, and they kind of look like us, but the robots at the car factories are giant arms, with wheels. And I imagine a package sorting robot would have wheels on it and not necessarily have. We are not the perfect shape for everything, Ken. 2 arms, 2 legs.
That's true.
So are these human-shaped robots more of a novelty than actually task designed?
I believe the design is for assimilation and acceptance more than it is for function. Yeah. So they're trying to make them look sort of human so you feel like they're sort of human, but I think if you're given license, they would look completely different. But you may not be as comfortable with that look. So this is more of their attempt to assimilate them into everybody's life.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
This is so interesting. Somebody else is wondering if Neo lets my dog out, will he chase him down the street when he jumps a fence?
Well, I mean, as long as his charge holds out, I think he can.
I mean, what
run.
are we going to do the first time we see one of these things running down the street? Will it?
Well, I think it's coming. It's not even just it's here.
It's here.
I mean, this is stuff that's happening. There's I'm looking at a sheet here that there's 8 different manufacturers of robots right now that are doing roboting. So it's coming.
I think I know the answer to this. We already said when we're gone, taking out the dog, feeding the cat, do those sorts of things, locating the cat, make sure the cat's in the house, et cetera, et cetera. I'm sure I can train him to stain my deck.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
that'd be easy,
if
right?
they can iron a shirt, they can certainly run a brush.
Stain a deck, and then cleaning the house.
But I
don't know if I can afford $500 a month, but it's starting to seem more and more affordable.
I look at the applications for, and again, we kind of talk about this a lot about our older generation, but being able to stay in the home, being able to be that that they're okay because someone's there to check on them for you, that they can. You can
we worry about my
make sure.
mom all the time the last year or
that
two.
If mom needs help getting something off a shelf, now the robot can help. If mom needs help moving a box, if mom needs help getting out of a chair. I mean, there's all these different things.
Oh, here's a video of him loading the dishwasher.
You better do it like my wife says, and we got problems.
Bobby's doing the laundry now.
No, get out of my laundry room.
We're talking to Ken Lawler, the AI guy and robot. So right now, is Neo in a couple of different houses doing these things?
Oh yeah, they're doing full on testing right now. And if I just heard a podcast with the owner of the company, and he said that a year ago when they were looking at the launch for this year, it was going to do very simple things and it was going to be very archaic. And they told everybody that. They said this is just a start. He now believes in just a year since he said that this will be fully autonomous. And to take the jump from being a programmed robot to pull something off a shelf to a robot that can understand what you want it to do, that's where AI is changing it. It is multiplying our abilities 100-fold in days, not months, not weeks. So they think it's going to be unbelievable.
And it makes sense because we see how AI thinks. So it's a matter of the AI and the robot for what it thinks, to have it move, make the mechanics work.
Yeah, and that's all compute, and that's what it is. It's taking all of the information they used to have to cram into this little chip, and now they cram it into this bigger chip, and it just thinks 100 times that little one.
So have you carved out a little place in your house? Does Neo have a closet that you'll place him in, shut the door, and he has to be charged?
I think I'm empathetic enough not to put him in a closet, but I mean, I like to think.
A lot of us have been in a closet for a while. It is pretty bad.
You just crossed over. You have empathy for a machine?
I believe
You don't feel that way about your blender.
I believe that I would. I believe that if I had something that was helping me on a daily basis and it had some human feature to it, I'd probably let it stay out of the, sit in the chair or something. Have a special chair.
What if you came home and Neo was on the couch and the dog was in his lap? And he, well, it's
I would
about
immediately
time
take
you
a
got
picture.
home. Yeah. Where have you been?
It is an interesting time, and you can learn more from Ken, the AI guy, here on the Big 550 every other Monday. You can also learn more online at imapworks.com. And Ken, we couldn't do this without a sponsor or two.
That's right. And actually, we were kind of excited because we are now going to be with you every week because we have decided that IMAP Works is going to be the sponsor for half of the show. So, yeah, anybody who wants to get a hold of me can go to imapworks.com. We do seminars, we do talks. We'll come in and talk to your company. We'll talk to you as individuals. So, I mean, we'll help any way we can. So it's great. We're really having fun with the show, and I'm looking forward to taking you guys down these kind of roads because I think you have fun with them.
We do, and there's just so much to know, and we're happy to have you on board. Thanks, Ken.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Ken Lawler, Ken the AI guy, and I'm proud to be the official AI guy for KTRS Radio. Every other Monday during the 3:30 drive time hour, I join Heidi, Glaus, Josh, and Rammer on the Heidi Glaus Show to talk about the latest innovations in tech and AI news. So tune in, stay curious, and let's make sense of what's next together. Ken the AI Guy on KTRS Radio, powered by First State Bank of St. Charles, your local source for home loans.
Most car shopping starts online, and lately, shoppers are spending more time at hwkia.com. Recent website reporting shows HW Kia shoppers spend nearly twice as much engaged time on the site compared to other Kia dealer websites. That means people are choosing hwkia.com instead of doing other important internet activities, like watching a guy build a swimming pool out of mud, or looking up, can my dog eat pickles? Why are they staying on hwkia.com nearly twice as long? Because there's more worth looking at. More new Kia inventory, more ways to shop, more ways to check current offers, more ways to value your trade, and more ways to find a payment that works for you. The report also shows hwkia.com shoppers are taking action and engaging through chats, texts, forums, and money-saving website events. So before you bounce from dealership to dealership, start where other shoppers are already spending more time and getting the deal they deserve. Start now at hwkia.com. Research compiled from June and July website traffic.
Friday, August 28th, the Shrine of Our Lady of the Snows presents the When Mental Illness Hits Home Conference, Mental Health Through the Ages. Learn how to provide support for the mental health of your loved one, whether an adolescent, college age, or a senior, and how to access insurance coverage for mental health services. When Mental Illness Hits Home, Friday, August 28th from 9 to 3 in the Shrine Visitor Center. Visit snows.org/illness 2026. That's snows.org/illness 2026.
Looking for a new kitchen or bath? Call me, Anne Marie Boges, the co-host of the Inside Out Show and owner and designer at Anne Marie Design Studio. Visit our website at annemariestudio.com. We can help make your dream space into a reality. We're a fine kitchen and bath boutique located in Wildwood. We do it all, from design to bid to installation too. Call us today at 636-821-3395 or go online at annemariestudio.com. Let's make your dream kitchen or bath a reality with Anne Marie Design Studio.
I'm Farmer Dave, and here's my good friend and owner of MasterCars Inc., Alex Rosenberger, with today's hot MasterCars Inc. deals.
Hey, thanks, Farmer Dave. We didn't get the nickname the St. Louis Corvette Kings by accident. We've specialized in Corvettes for over 30 years, and I need more. You have one for sale, especially C6, C7, and Classic Corvettes. I'm an immediate buyer for very clean, low-mile examples. Hop on our site, mastercarsinc.com, or give us a call to submit what you have. We'll even come to you if we have to. Owe money on it? Don't worry. We'll make the payoff and pay your equity right on the spot. This has been a fantastic Corvette summer, and I want to keep it rolling.
So rev that motor and point your car in the direction of MasterCars Inc. and buy or sell today. 4100 Namioki Road in Granite City, or visit mastercarsinc.com to get more details. That's mastercarsinc.com.
All right, so we just heard about that robot that'll do your dishes and clean your house. What would you guys want the robot to do first? My wife hates doing vacuuming.
I love vacuuming. I'm not giving that one up.
I would have it vacuuming, as I said, stain the deck, I think general household cleaning would be big. Washing windows.
Yeah.
Vacuuming.
The whole list.
Yeah.
I would have Neo do my taxes. But frankly, I've already got a guy that does that. And he's actually got flesh and blood and bones. And that's Jeff Zufall. And frankly, I think he could probably do it better than the robot can because Jeff knows me. And he asks me questions about myself. And he figures out what we are trying to do. And even though I come to Jeff all the time with these crazy harebrained schemes of how we can avoid paying taxes or how we can make a little money here and there and save money here and there, Jeff will say, Josh, let me stop you. Those things that you just mentioned are illegal, but he always comes up with different ways of doing it where I actually end up keeping more of my money. And that's the name of the show we do on the weekends. Keep what's yours, keeping your money by optimizing the tax code to your benefit. Who needs that money more, you or the federal government? I'm going to guess it's you, and Jeff can help you keep all of your money when it comes to taxes. 636-394-5524, 636-394-5524, or you can find them online at Capital Advisory Group, capitaladvisorygrp.com.
9 minutes before 4, Joe Davis is in the KTRS Traffic Center today. How's traffic?
We have a couple of trouble spots here. Construction work on 64 West between Route K and 70 is causing slow traffic. We have slow traffic on 64 East between Route 157 and Route 159. An eastbound exit ramp from 370 to southbound 270 is closed due to road work. We have slow-moving traffic in Lake St. Louis on 64 West between 364 and 70. And the exit ramp closed in De Pere on 270 South off-ramp Manchester is causing some congestion. This traffic report is brought to you by Stages St. Louis. Get your single tickets now for Stages St. Louis. Take a trip back to the 40s and 50s with Guys and Dolls, which runs through August 23rd. Stages will wrap up this year with the incredible true story of Come From Away. Call 314-821-2407 or visit stagesstl.org. From the KTRS Traffic Center, I'm Joe Davis on the Big 550 KTRS.
There are currently 2 major food outbreaks in the United States. Mary Kakatos, health and science reporter for ABC News Digital, joins us with the latest. What do we know right now and what is dangerous?
So those 2 outbreaks are linked to 2 very different things. So one is shredded iceberg lettuce. It was initially found to be at some Taco Bell restaurants, distributed by Taylor Farms and sourced from central Mexico. So Taylor Farms issued a voluntary recall of all shredded iceberg lettuce products sourced from central Mexico. Taco Bell said it wasn't getting any of its lettuce anymore from Taylor Farms. There are about 15 states that have been linked to this outbreak, but it does seem that Taylor Farms was distributing its lettuce not just to Taco Bell, but to some other restaurants and food establishments. So there could be other restaurants at play here, and notably cases have been found in other states not linked to this outbreak. So more than one distributor could be at play here, and it's being investigated. Now, the second outbreak, it's a salmonella outbreak linked to jalapenos. However, also Taylor Farms, also central Mexico. So it was found at some food establishments like Chipotle and Qdoba, but also notably, it was found in some grocery store items. Pico de gallo, salsa, guacamole, spicy shrimp salad, and at your local stores, your Walmarts, Kroger's, Whole Foods, Target. So firstly, we have Taylor Farms saying that it is recalling about 20 products. The FDA has posted a list online. Chipotle and Qdoba said they are not getting those jalapenos anymore from Taylor Farms. And lastly, in all of this, Mexican health authorities have opened an investigation. We're still waiting on the results of that.
Yeah, Mary, the public panics, I think, more than businesses. And you mentioned the 2 businesses that are not buying from Taylor Farms anymore. Can you see other companies and restaurateurs and grocers following suit, essentially putting that company out of business? If not, how do they restore the faith to those American companies that are doing all the buying?
So it's definitely a tough question. Some restaurants could be following suit and not getting its products from Taylor Farms anymore.
Yeah.
But we don't know if it'll get to a point where that company would go out of business. But basically, the faith has to come from these investigations that the local public health officials are doing, and they're very good at their job. Some people may think it took a while, we did seem to get down to what the problem is. And the thing is that these products that were causing the outbreak, they've largely been pulled off of store shelves. Michigan health officials recently said that people can resume their normal lettuce eating practices again because they believe that the source of the outbreak, Michigan was one of the 15 states with shredded iceberg lettuce and linked to that parasitic illness. They believe that those products were pulled from store shelves successfully. The rate of new cases has been going significantly down, and so people should hopefully feel safe enough to eat again. It may take some time, but as the products get pulled off of store shelves and cases go down, people can feel assured that the tainted products are no longer available to buy.
And Mary, Taylor Farms keeps popping up, but is this something that's happening in the fields in Mexico? Is this something happening in a factory in Mexico? Is it happening in distribution here in the United States? Where is this stuff getting tainted?
That's a very good question, and that's something that has been at the heart of an investigation by federal health officials. We're not sure whether this outbreak came from contaminated water. We're not sure if maybe a worker was ill and they managed to spread some of this pathogen into the food products. We're not sure if it happened during distribution or packaging. So it's hard to pinpoint it down because there's so many ways that it could have gotten into the food supply. We do know that the Mexico's health regulatory agency launched an investigation centering on a packing facility in the state of Nuevo León and producers in the Sinaloa state as the potential sources of the salmonella outbreak, for example. But it's going to take a little bit of time before we get some concrete answers about where exactly it entered the food supply chain.
And Mary, where do we stand right now? When will we be able to eat lettuce without worrying?
That's a good question. I mean, it may be at the back of everybody's minds for a while, but there are some steps that people can stay safe, at least according to public health officials. So first thing, making sure that you have all those recalled products, if you do have them in your home, thrown away. The second thing is that no matter whether you're getting iceberg lettuce or jalapenos or a fruit or vegetable not associated with an outbreak, make sure you are washing it. Doesn't matter if the package says it's been pre-washed or triple washed. Wash it again. You don't know if you're missing any of those pathogens. The third thing is that cooking does help. Now, most people aren't cooking their shredded iceberg lettuce, but people may be cooking jalapenos, for example. Cooking, really good way to kill salmonella. For people who want to be even extra vigilant, if you're going out to eat, see if you can ask your restaurant where they're sourcing their produce from as maybe an extra layer of precaution.
All right, all great tips.
And is there something about Taylor Farms in all of this? Why are they at the center of both of these?
You know, that's something that public health officials have been wondering too. We're not quite sure. It may be not associated with Taylor Farms at all. It may be that they were linked to a grower in Mexico. It may be that a worker was working on both of these products. We don't know that it's necessarily linked to just Taylor Farms. It could be an outside factor here, but it's definitely one that health officials are looking at really closely.
And can we trust that? I mean, I know that there have been staff and funding cuts across the CDC and FDA. Are people really looking into this now?
Yes, for sure. So there have been staffing and funding cuts. We do know that the FDA and CDC have both lost a considerable amount of staff at the end of the year. There was a CDC team that was looking at cyclospora, which is that parasitic outbreak linked to shredded iceberg lettuce. It did have a team that went down from 11 to 3, but some of that was due to a hiring freeze. People were on one-year contracts. They didn't get hired. It is worth noting a bulk of the on-the-ground reporting is done by state and local health authorities. It is supported by federal health officials, but it's really those state and local health departments that do the bulk of the on-the-ground investigation.
All right, Mary Cacados with ABC's health and science reporter for ABC News Digital. We really appreciate this. Great reporting.
Sure thing. Thank you for having me.
We talk to you, but you can always talk to us. We'd love to hear from you. Call 314-931-5877 and have a conversation with the St. Louis names you know and the St. Louis voices you trust, all on your locally owned hometown radio station. We are KTRS. Depend on it. Tune in weekly to the Frank and Jill Show to catch the new Legal Eagle segment featuring renowned attorney Travis Noble of Travis Noble Attorneys at Law.
Every week, Travis will join the show for an entertaining segment focusing on legal stories.
And news right here on the Big 550.
Lindsay Davis, Anchor Prime, streaming weeknights on ABC News Live. In Western Colombia, the death toll is climbing by the hour following a powerful earthquake. Government officials say at least 111 people have died. ABC's Patrick Reevell has the details.
We are still really only getting a sense of the scale of the damage. The 7.4 magnitude quake hit in Western Colombia. We know that rescue efforts are underway. We've been seeing these frightening videos showing buildings swaying, walls collapsing, the buildings themselves coming down, people terrified, holding on to each other, just trying not to be thrown to the ground.
At the White House, President Trump signed an executive order aimed at reducing recommended childhood vaccinations to 11 diseases, down from the 18 diseases recommended by the CDC in 2024. The EO also recommends childhood vaccine schedules for the measles, mumps, and rubella, or MMR, be split into 3 separate shots. Leading medical groups are pushing back on the recommendations. Iran is refusing to back down on U.S. demands to reopen the Strait of Hormuz, listing its demands that include lifting the U.S. naval blockade and paying reparations. At the White House, President Trump insists the strait is open.
The only one that has control of the Strait of Hormuz right now is the United States Navy. We have a blockade that's been infallible.
The president now says Iran should pay reparations for the war and decades of terrorist acts. Following a contentious confirmation hearing and narrow vote over the weekend, Todd Blanche was sworn in as permanent Attorney General. Blanche, who was acting AG, is a former personal attorney of President Trump. In California, the Ojai Raptor Center says the injured female bald eagle, presumed to be Jackie, has died. Jackie and mate Shadow gained worldwide attention with the birth of eaglets on a Big Bear webcam. She was receiving round-the-clock care for anemia and health issues following a fight with other birds last month. You're listening to ABC News.
This is the story of the one. As a procurement manager for a hospital system, she keeps every facility in her network stocked and ready. That's why she counts on Grainger to be her single source for thousands of products, from disinfectants to lighting, air filters, and more. And with fast, dependable delivery, Grainger helps her keep every facility stocked, safe, and running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
One of the great things about living in St. Louis are the great hospitals, and none better than Cardinal Glennon Children's Hospital. It is a special place, and if you don't believe me, talk to any parent who's had a child who was treated at Cardinal Glennon, and you will see the pride in their face. So, for all of the doctors and nurses and staff at Cardinal Glennon Children's Hospital, we thank you for all the work you do day in and day out. To find out more about SSM Health Cardinal Glennon Children's Hospital, glennon.org. That's glennon.org.
Good afternoon. It's 4:03 and 95 degrees at Westport Plaza. I'm Brendan Weesey, and here's the latest from the KTRS newsroom. We have that extreme heat warning. It's in effect for St. Louis and surrounding areas through at least Wednesday night. High temperatures combined with the humidity is making for a tough go of it to be outside. Rain kept the heat at bay early this morning, but as that cleared out and some clearing in the clouds helped the temperature skyrocket here this afternoon. We'll have that full forecast coming up here in just a few moments. Our Mizzou insider Eli Hoff broke the news this morning on STLtoday.com of a death back in the spring at the Memorial Stadium construction site in Columbia. 44-year-old Corey Suter, a foreman for an electrical company working on the North End Zone project, died there on June 10th. The exact circumstances surrounding the death are unknown, but OSHA has reportedly opened up an investigation. A woman is accused of making a false police report last night, saying a vehicle had been stolen with her child inside, leading to an Amber Alert. St. Louis police spokesperson Mitch McCoy says after a quick investigation, it was learned that the mother fabricated her story.
A false report of this magnitude not only creates ripple effects across the entire city, but it creates a substantial risk for the rest of our community and for our officers, which is why we will use every available resource to charge this woman appropriately.
The 25-year-old woman was taken into custody for knowingly making a false report. Investigators also determined that the woman had been using illicit drugs as well. Illinois is expanding measures to ensure the health and safety of women and survivors of domestic violence in the state. Governor J.B. Pritzker signed 2 pieces of legislation into law. One of the measures strengthens menopause education for healthcare professionals. The second aims to protect domestic violence survivors from emerging forms of technology, to include digital harassment. It also removes barriers to receiving orders of protection against perpetrators. This KTRS Business Minute is brought to you by Walter Noel Florist, the place for all your floral needs. Place your order anytime at WKF.com. A massive data center proposal in Pacific has been terminated. Mayor Debbie Kelly says the developer has withdrawn its application to build a 500-acre data center complex along Highway O near Phelan Road. The cost of the project was estimated at $16 billion. The announcement comes days after Pacific City officials voted to implement a 1-year pause on considering new data center applications to allow time for them to conduct land use studies, gather community input, and consider additional amendments for future proposals. A check on the markets now, presented by JBL Financial. Tune in for Straight Talk on Retirement, Saturdays from 9 until 11 here on the Big 550. The Dow closed down 60 points at 53,975. S&P 500 down 4 at 77.53. The NASDAQ down 85 at 26,605. As we go to the Royal Banks of Missouri Sports Desk, the Cardinals and Phillies go at it tonight at Busch. Birds hand the ball to Hunter Dobbins in hopes of climbing back above the 500 mark. Time to find Joe Davis. He's filling in for the good Captain Paul Kopsky this afternoon. For traffic, we say hello to Joe. Hello, Joe.
Hi, how you doing, Brendan? Yeah, traffic is starting to pick up here. We have some light traffic on 64 West between Kings Highway and Clayton Skinker. There's heavy congestion on 64 East between Route 157 and Route 159. And there is slow-moving traffic on 270 South between Olive and Manchester. This traffic report is brought to you by Neighbors Credit Union. If you're ready to upsize, downsize, or first-time home buy, turn to the team at Neighbors Credit Union. At Neighbors Credit Union, you'll find great rates, expert advice, and personalized friendly service throughout the entire home loan process and beyond. That's just what you'd expect from a great neighbor. Apply online today at neighborscu.org. From the KTRS Traffic Center, I'm Joe Davis on the Big 550 KTRS.
Thank you, Joe. That forecast, extreme heat warning in effect through Wednesday night. That heat and humidity is then going to carry over from today into tonight. We're only going to drop down to about 78 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Tomorrow, hot, humid. You know the drill. Highs in the upper 90s. Better shot at rain, although that forecast has been... it's been moving down a little bit in terms of rain chances for Wednesday and Thursday, but we'll see if anything materializes. At 4:08, we have 95 degrees and cloudy skies at Westport Plaza with a heat index of 109. For the Talk of St. Louis, I'm Brendan Wiese on the Big 550 KTRS.
As we enter into the summer months, you might be thinking windows and doors. Yeah, and where are you going to go? You have lots of options when it comes to windows and doors. Let me tell you about a St. Louis company that everybody should know about. It's called WSWindow.net. It's run by Larry Thornton and his son, Joe. And they've been selling windows and doors in St. Louis for 38 years. They do most of their work with a handshake and a smile. There is no high-pressure sales. There is no jacking up the prices and then try and bring you down as they demand some type of signature on the dotted line. They'll shake your hand and say, we hope to hear from you. and they have been successful. They beat the big boys at their games for all these many years because they do it right. They have long-time installers, long-time employees. The Window Store. If you need windows, if you need doors, you want a great price, and you want to keep it in the St. Louis family. That's Larry and Joe Thornton. The Window Store. WSWindow.net. WSWindow.net.
Hi, it's Frank Cusimano inviting you to join me for the Press Box, brought to you by Control Option, Monday through Thursday at 6 p.m. We're going to interview some of the biggest names in sports and have our opening monologue. That's the Press Box, brought to you by Control Option, Monday through Thursday at 6 p.m. right here on the Big 550 KTRS, the talk of St. Louis.
You're listening to the Heidi Glaus Show with Josh Gilbert and Bob Ramsey on the Big 550 KTRS.
Our headlines for this Monday afternoon, August 10th, Laclede's Landing retail push targets 200 restaurant groups as developer eyes a Nashville-style rebrand. Much of the work to convert Laclede's Landing into a residential hub is finished, but one piece of the mixed-use puzzle has yet to be filled, and that's the retail space. John Warren, the senior director at commercial real estate firm Cushman & Wakefield, is the man tasked with filling more than 50,000 square feet of retail space across 5 buildings, and it's a task tantamount to reshaping the identity of the historic cobblestoned tourist draw adjacent to the Gateway Arch. Warren said available retail space reprints are a huge opportunity to rebrand the doorstep to the city. He believes the Landing has the potential to be a vibrant district similar to Nashville's Broadway Street. Warren said the marketing campaign for the space has targeted more than 200 restaurant groups and music venues. He said he has reached out to restaurateurs and venue operators in Chicago, Nashville, and Branson. He's aiming to secure tenants for the Landing's retail space within the next 6 months, and his vision isn't too far off from what the Landing used to be known for in its heyday with Mississippi Nights. The area was once a thriving nightlife destination, but many of its establishments closed in the 2000s. 4 restaurants are currently located on the Landing outside of the Horse Show Casino, of course. You've also got Immortal Ink Tattoo Gallery, and the Wax Museum is still open there as well. New development may be coming to the neighborhood. The city recently allocated $255 million in RAM settlement funds. Well, $15 million of that is earmarked for riverfront development, so maybe it'll be used for that. We'll see.
When they talked about the heyday, was the residential space, was that fully fleshed out then?
I don't think so.
I don't either.
At least when I was going, I mean, it was Sundeckers, it was Mississippi Nights, it was, I mean, it does have a lot of potential.
I think the Nashville, what is that, Broadway? That might be a reach, but reach high
and
for
if
your
we hit in the
goals and
middle,
see what you get.
Yeah.
But
no, I mean, it did feel like a destination.
Yeah, it
back
had
in the day.
Piano bar. It's where I took my sister on her bachelorette party. The dueling pianos.
I'd like to think that residential piece would be a key to it. It'd be interesting to see how they flesh that out.
Ever known anyone to live down there?
I've never known either.
Yeah.
And then also tying into the casino, you've got to figure a way to make that seem like one
big
that could
piece.
be a huge, bachelorette party kind of thing. If they're talking about Nashville, all you got to do is drop somebody off there and you just bar hop.
One of the problems, and we've talked about this in many times with many different projects, is the interstate cutting off the riverfront from the rest of town. How do you overcome that? That's I think the number one thing.
If you want to walk from downtown to there, you got to go underneath that highway, and I feel like a sinkhole just opened up there.
Yeah, it's close. I think it's a little further west, but
it's a really busy multi-road intersection. It can be an issue.
And if they could get something, Heidi will chastise me and say they do run riverboats down there, but if they could get some sort of riverboat attraction or some sort of river, incorporate the river into it where you can get out on the water.
They do have a riverboat running.
Cruises,
yes, they have that.
All that stuff.
They have it. You just don't go.
I just don't go.
Right.
Let's go. Come on, let's go.
Were you here, Heidi? Were you here when Planet Hollywood came?
Yeah.
Were you here for the opening?
Yes.
Yeah, me
It was
too.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, that was probably the heyday, right?
Yeah, I would say so because we had Hard Rock as well at Union Station.
Yeah. So there's nothing but potential. And with the Four Seasons and the hotel right there, it's
Well,
a great
right now
anchor.
you've got sort of, not technically all the riverfront, but kind of 3 sections, I think, maybe 4 when you come back off the Wash Ave area. But you've got Laclede's Landing, of course, the Arch, but that's kind of its own thing. And then you go down to that whole ballpark area and then on to Soulard. And they're all little separate things, and I don't know how connected you can make it.
Yeah. And Eric Seamer's Business Journal, we'll talk to him tomorrow. Remember a couple of weeks ago where they said, we need a themed restaurant down there.
That was one of the ideas when people are
Yeah.
writing into the Business Journal. That was somebody that had an idea.
Like a Bubba Gump Shrimp Company or a Rainforest Cafe.
I think they were talking about Lambert's. I don't think that's
Lambert's.
I don't. I mean, it didn't work. We had Hollywood,
Hollywood.
Planet
We had Hard
Hollywood,
Rock.
and it didn't. I think it's just got to be. I mean, make it like a meatpacking district in New York where you have really great restaurants, like a restaurant row.
Great food.
Yeah.
And
I don't think the gimmicks go.
Can
No.
you make something trendy, or does it just kind of have to happen?
I think we have a lot of great restaurateurs, and if you go to St. Louis Magazine and look at restaurants to be excited about, I think the list is like 20 deep. We have some fantastic restaurateurs, and that's what it's going to take is a chance to, you get 5 different restaurants, say, hey, look, we're going to do this. We're going to open on this corner, and maybe it becomes something.
And for the negative folks, and there are many of us out there, that St. Louis is not becoming ranked on the world foodie rankings by accident.
No, it's a
there.
big deal.
Let's just embrace it.
Yeah.
Here's something you might not want to embrace, or maybe you would, Josh.
Yeah.
India's World Championships in badminton
Ooh.
are hiring monkey whisperers.
What now?
Start over.
Yeah.
We're in India.
Okay.
I think badminton is their, or maybe it's cricket is their number 1, but badminton is big in India. They're having the World Championships in New Delhi.
Okay.
When is this? This is next week. Will Marcia still be there?
No, she'll be home, but
darn
she's
it.
in Bangalore,
Oh,
so it's
okay.
a little bit away.
Okay, rhesus monkeys are becoming a real pest in businesses and event space and all that. But they have an enemy. The monkeys are terrified of langur monkeys, Langur, langur monkeys. And so what is happening is you can bring langur monkeys around, but then it's just another monkey problem, right? So what they have hired is people who know how to imitate the langur monkeys, and they go in and do their calls, their chattering.
Is that what they sound like?
You just frightened me.
Yeah. Heidi's got a new
So
job.
Heidi can be silly too.
That's right.
That was pretty good.
Thank you.
That was really. Hey, do you need a second gig?
Maybe.
It's only for a week.
Yeah. How much does it pay?
I don't know. We should find out. So anyway, the langur monkeys. You threw me off my game there
I'm
for a
sorry,
second.
I'm
That's all right.
sorry.
That's all right.
Let me look
But
up
that's-
langur monkey calls.
Langur
See if-
monkey
see if
whisperers.
it's similar. Mhm.
Yeah.
It's not really a
Scare
whisper,
off-
though, is it?
No, it's not. And they scare off the rhesus monkeys. So
All
there
right.
you have it.
Well, YouTube has a clip of it. We'll listen to this when it loads up. But in the meantime, I'll ask you this: what time do you guys eat dinner? What time?
I'd say if it averaged out, 6:30.
I'd say we're closer to 7:15.
7:15. We get off
Oh
work
no,
here
that's
at
not
6.
right. I don't get home till 6:35. I think what you
7:15,
said, Heidi,
7:30.
7:15.
Yeah.
A lot of times I get home at 6:30 and we're eating by 6:45.
Yeah.
I
So
mean,
we're all in the same grouping.
yeah,
Yeah.
my wife, thankfully, love her. She'll start dinner while I'm in the car. But researchers have now figured out the best times to eat our meals, not just dinner, but lunch
All of 'em.
and breakfast as well. And they have done studies where people eat the same foods but at different times, and they've noticed
how our body breaks it all down.
How your body works it out. Eat your lunch early, they say. Late lunch is worse for you than an early lunch.
So what about breakfast?
I'll get to that in just a second.
Well, okay. This starts with breakfast, though.
Okay. Eat a big breakfast, as big as you can, and then eat an early lunch, and then eat your dinner early, at least 4 hours before you go to bed.
Okay, if you eat a
4 hours
big breakfast
before you go to bed,
you're not going to be hungry.
At 9:30, you're not hungry for an early lunch. That doesn't make any sense to me.
I'm going to slightly disagree without reading it. You've read the study. My guy, Dr. Rick Lehman, you hear him once a week on with Frank and Jill. He's talked about the intermittent fasting, which also applies to everything else. Let's say we eat at 7. We probably, if you believe in this system, and Dr. Rick proposes it, and he's not the only one.
Yeah.
And then if we don't eat breakfast till around 9, or even slightly later, that gives you that 12 to 15-hour gap that's supposed to be ideal for the body. Then you're probably not eating lunch till around 1 anyway, so you can still eat dinner at 7 or so.
You don't have to have a huge lunch, people. They say that if you eat 4 hours before you go to bed, and then you go to bed at a decent hour.
I think everybody agrees with that.
Yeah.
That intermittent fasting there happens while you're sleeping.
Right.
They want you to have intermittent fasting. They just want you to have it while you're sleeping. So eat early, and then when you wake up, have a big breakfast in the morning, and eat your lunch early enough so that you're hungry early enough in the evening to get your food in, because we heard 3 hours before bed, but this study says eat 4 hours before you go to bed.
I think that's more the consensus.
It would put me at 10:45, and frankly, I can't stay up that late these days. So,
so if you eat at 6:45, I think that's.
Maybe I'll have to start eating in the car on the way home.
I think we can.
I'm going to break out my dinner. Yeah, I'm going to start eating right now.
Overreact to some of these studies.
Yeah, and somebody said, I just said eat an early breakfast like 9:30. LMAO, early breakfast. Some of us have to go to work much earlier than you, Sleeping Beauty. I used to eat my breakfast at 4 a.m. when I was on the morning show. So this is just making up for all of those days. And then you would eat your lunch at like 9:45, 10:30, which was a crazy schedule, and your dinner at 4 p.m. So for all the people that work that shift, that's a really tough one.
My wife gets up at 5, and so her new school schedule just started. So she'll eat breakfast, before she goes to work, or sometimes she'll wait till she gets there. So it'd be like 7, but she's eating at work.
Yeah, and I usually get up. I'm just not hungry at 7 a.m. when I first get out of bed. And so I have my salt water and then my coffee, and then usually it's a little bit later when I'm eating lunch. There are all kinds of routines, and one of the things that you need to be kind of in a routine of is getting your HVAC system checked out, because it's a complex system, and staying on top of that really make sure that everything is running right, and running especially when you need it. Indoor Comfort Team Heating and Air Conditioning is a great partner to have, not only because they are a small business that cares, but because these technicians are your neighbors. They get to know you. The owner, Adam, knows his clients so well, he often hands out his cell phone number. So if you need something, even in those late hours of the evening, he picks up his phone. What's really cool about Indoor Comfort Team is they are small enough to care, but big enough to handle any job. And that's what's really cool. You can reach Indoor Comfort Team 314-894-8200. That's 314-894-8200. You can also check them out online at indoorcomfortteam.com.
All right, you guys want to hear Langer Monkeys?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, Heidi, see if you could make this sound.
Okay.
It sounded like Heidi. She could do it.
Let me think about this and I'll practice it.
Okay, you've decided you want to get away. You want to travel. You want to see the world.
Let Altair Travel and Cruises handle all the details. You handle all the fun. You don't know where to stay. You don't have to worry about transfers. What about your luggage? What about a tour guide? You don't want a tour guide. Lewis and Clark had a tour guide. You're in a different country. You want to go see the Sistine Chapel. You're going to need a tour guide. Let Altair Travel handle all those details. You handle all the fun. 314-968-9600. Altair Travel or altairtravel.com.
Hey, it's Julie Buck. Are you always struggling to find the perfect gift? Well, we have the solution for you. You can try a signature facial or a teen facial gift certificate. Have you heard about the Only Facial? They've got one in Clayton, De Pere, Creve Coeur, Frontenac, St. Charles, Sunset Hills, U City, Columbia, and Springfield, Mo, Edwardsville, Illinois, and now open in Webster Groves and coming soon to Cottleville. This is a top-rated facial spa that only does facials, and there are no upsells and no gratuities accepted. One price for everything, and that price is $125. The signature facial consists of several steps customized to your unique skin types and concerns. The Only Facial is the best thing going. So check them out online at theonlyfacial.com. And if you're an esthetician, they're hiring at The Only Facial. Find out more about all of it on their website. It's theonlyfacial.com.
One thing, I try to do is not think about all the money I have to spend. But sometimes it goes through your head and you think, I got to buy this, I got to spend money on that. But the money that you spent on your house is probably the biggest single purchase you've ever made. So it makes sense to protect it. And you know what? There might be things going on up top there on the roof that you can't see. Allen Roofing can. They don't even have to go up there. They can send some drones up to have a look, find out the problem, give a diagnosis, sit down with you and say, what shall we do from here to protect that asset of yours that you spent all that money on? It only makes sense, whether it's a roof, whether it's siding, tuck pointing, anything to do with the outside of your house. They will help you protect it. Find them online at aroofing.net.
Repairing chimneys, walkways, porches, foundations, entire homes, anything to do with brick or stone, you need a tuck pointer you can trust, and that, of course, is Morelli. Morelli is a family-run business started in 1991, and they're only as good as their last customer. That's why when you check out the reviews online at MorelliTuckPointing.com, you'll notice that they're actual customers who are singing the praises of Morelli. So if you need a tuck pointer, you need Morelli. 314-645-1387 or MorelliTuckPointing.com.
I trust Pella Windows and Doors of St. Louis to help improve my home when it matters most. It's not just Pella's high-quality windows and doors. It's the local experts who know the St. Louis area so well. For a limited time, get 20% off Pella projects or 0% no payments, no interest if paid in full within 24 months. Call 833-87-PELLA or visit Pella.com/radio to learn more. 833-87-PELLA or Pella.com/radio. Restrictions apply. See site for details.
Inland Marine Boats in Barnard has been serving your boating needs for 40 years. Hi, I'm Jim, and this is my son, Ryan.
Remember, you only get 18 summers with your kids. Make the most of them with a boat from Inland Marine Boats, your Mercury Marine dealer.
Have some fun with your friends while eating great food. Of course, I'm talking about the Village Bar, the only place to watch the big game while eating the world's best cheeseburger. There's a reason people have made this their favorite hangout for decades. The game's on, and so is the grill. We'll see you at the Village Bar.
You're listening to the Heidi Glaus Show with Josh Gilbert and Bob Ramsey on the Big 550 KTRS.
It is 4:28. Captain Paul has the day off, but Joe Davis is in the KTRS Traffic Center watching traffic. Hey, Joe.
Hey, Heidi. We have traffic that is building up on 64 West between Kings Highway and Clayton Skinker. There is light traffic in Lake St. Louis on 64 West between 364 and 70. There is heavy congestion on 64 East between Route 157 and Route 159. We have an accident on 255 East at Jefferson Barracks Bridge. And there is slow-moving traffic on 270 South between Big Bend and Gravois. This traffic report is brought to you by Dents Express. Drive time can be hectic with traffic, weather, and fender benders. Dents Express can help with hassle-free dent removal, minor collision repair, and hail damage repair. Free evaluations, and they take care of all the insurance paperwork. They've got 2 locations on Manchester and Baldwin and in St. Charles. DentsExpressSTL.com. From the KTRS Traffic Center, I'm Joe Davis on the Big 550 KTRS.
It's Monday.
And that means news, politics, lighthearted topics, and everything St. Louis and beyond.
It's Ryan Krull from St. Louis Magazine on the Big 550 KTRS, the talk of St. Louis.
Greater St. Louis Inc., one of the bigger voices advocating for downtown St. Louis, is shaking things up a bit. Ryan Krull with St. Louis Magazine is back to break it all down. How are you?
I'm doing terrific. How about you, Heidi?
I'm great as well, and I'm anxious to hear. I mean, I've read the story, but I want your take on this. And before we start with Greater St. Louis Inc., who or what does this group consist of?
Sure. So Greater St. Louis Inc. formed several years ago. Basically, there was all these different nonprofits that were interested in, bolstering St. Louis's economy in one way or the other. Some were focused more on, one particular industry. Others were focused on the area around the Arch. And there was this idea that if all five of these folks kind of just became one organization, they could really become something more than just the sum of their parts. And I think that was a good idea that's really paid dividends in recent years. If you recall, Greater St. Louis Inc. was really heavily involved in the discussions about the Rams money, what to do with that. They were lobbying for downtown. And a lot of people associate Greater St. Louis Inc., and sometimes it's referred to as the business lobby, like a lot of the big businesses. Sometimes it's kind of the way that they have a voice in government, the big industries in town. But basically there's this, they've kind of become synonymous with downtown and sort of being these sort of downtown boosters for good reason. They've gotten a lot of money for downtown and that sort of thing. But there's some indication that maybe their priorities are shifting towards more of sort of a region-wide approach. The guy who had been in charge of Greater St. Louis Inc. since its founding, Jason Hall, he left last year. This new guy, Ron Kitchens, has come in, and he obviously wants downtown to succeed, but his whole mantra is that the whole region needs more and better jobs. So it's kind of this reading of the tea leaves of this organization. Are they sort of shifting their focus away from downtown a little bit and sort of just focusing on the region as a whole, or are they still sticking to the sort of the playbook they had been, which was we fix downtown and then we'll fix the rest of the region? So it's kind of an interesting look at some potential shifts here and kind of one of the more influential business groups, nonprofit business groups here in the city.
So it looked like they initially were saying, let's work inside out. And now outside in, I don't know if that necessarily is a negative, but it's clearly a change. And you mentioned a change at the top of the organization, but they've lost other key personnel as well, correct?
Yeah, they had some staffers that were focused exclusively on downtown. Someone who was essentially kind of like the vice president of all things downtown. I don't think that was his exact title, but he departed as well. So yeah, and then they had this downtown ambassadors program where they had folks actually on the ground downtown, just assisting tourists, that kind of thing. That went away. They had they still do. It's been retooled. It's kind of been it's a little less of a presence than it used to be. But this program that would sort of be kind of like an incubator for businesses that wanted to open up shop downtown. They would sort of give them some startup capital. That still exists, but it's a little bit reduced. So all this kind of signals that this group is just like you said, Bob, is kind of taking more of an outside-in approach rather than an inside-out. If you want to look at it that way.
I know, Ryan, in your article, when you talked to Kitchens, he said that the plan is to rehire for roles directly working on downtown issues. So is that the focus still?
Yeah, so Kitchens is saying that it's a both and thing. Like we're not taking we're not using up on the gas in regards to downtown at all. But we are at the same time, we're called Greater St. Louis Inc., right? Sort of the Greater St. Louis region. We want to sort of be focused kind of with a sort of slightly wider lens. I think it's worth noting that obviously it is probably a little bit of a chicken and the egg sort of thing. Yeah. It's like, a thriving Chesterfield isn't bad for downtown. That's good for downtown. The same way that a thriving downtown is not bad for Chesterfield. So I think sometimes there's this kind of idea that it's an either or. I think Ron Kitchens is going to tell you it's a both and.
And we spoke last week to Arch Park Foundation. They just bought a couple of parking garages next to Keener Plaza.
Yeah.
And didn't this group, Greater St. Louis Inc., didn't they start buying up some properties as well?
Did they say? I don't think that they've actually been buying up properties. What they've been more their thing is that they're more likely to fund folks who are buying properties. Someone who wants to make a investment in downtown. They do have they have like a vice president of real estate, and so I don't think GSL actually owns any property. But if you're interested in purchasing like an abandoned property downtown and moving some folks in, GSL is definitely a place you would go to for some of that startup capital. Having said that, there's a good chance someone might know of something that GSL does own. That could be the case, but that is not their sort of bread and butter. They're more about sort of being like an add-on, a multiplier of folks who are kind of already doing positive things in the area.
Yeah. Ryan, a story that I think flew under the radar is about a city streets worker saving a baby. When did this happen?
Yeah, this happened middle of last month. Yeah, this is wild. This was a woman who worked for the streets department, was out doing her job, and she saw a guy in a Tesla just pull into the middle of a street. I think it was a 5-lane street. He pulls into that middle turning lane, and he puts a car seat down in the middle of the street. And at first she thought it was just a guy littering, essentially just putting like a car seat in the middle of the street. But then as she took a closer look, she was horrified. She saw 2 feet sticking out of this thing, out of the car seat. So she thought quickly she was driving a pretty big truck. She sort of swerved, moved the truck into a place where it would block traffic from this infant, and called 911. And it's probably because of her quick thinking that she saved this infant's life. And then the guy in the Tesla, he's been charged criminally with, I think it's endangering the welfare of a child.
Yeah.
And then she's in the news because on Friday she received an accommodation from the city for sort of going above and beyond the call of duty. And this is a part of Mayor Kara Spencer's sort of a bigger effort to sort of boost the morale of city employees. One, get them more money, but also just sort of reward folks who are, really going above and beyond what their job calls for. So this woman was the obvious the recipient for the sort of inaugural award that I think there's going to be many more of these to come.
Well, that's a fantastic story, at least ended in a great way.
Happy ending. Yeah. Thank God.
You're also covering a weird card theft story. How are people stealing cars right now?
Oh my God, these car thieves! They always find a new way. So yeah, this is essentially it's 2 pieces of technology that these guys are using. Where if you have how on a lot of cars, if your key fob is just close to the car,
yes,
it kind of automatically unlocks the door. So basically, these guys can use technology where one person just stands near the front door of your house or near your house, and it picks up on your key fob signal, amplifies it, and sends it to another device that someone else is holding right next to your car, and basically tricks your car into thinking that the key fob is right there. So then they can just open the door, start it up, and get away. So yeah, this is something that I never even imagined was a thing, but we heard from a reader in Compton Heights who says he's pretty sure his car was stolen this way because the keys were never taken. He still has them. There's no sign that the car was hot wired or anything. So he's talked to the detective working the case, and he said it was probably a situation where they used one of these relay devices, is what they're called. And so that's scary. That's not good. But the good news is this is actually the easiest thing in the world to fight against or combat. If you put your key fob in like a cookie tin or anything metal, it basically prevents this thing from picking up its signal. So if you have a spare cookie tin around the house, put it by your front door, and then you'll have thwarted these key fob relay thieves.
All right, that's a great tip. And then finally, Ryan, Fred Wellman is up against Ann Wagner. Does he have a shot here?
He might. I mean, obviously she has won the past 6 times or 7. She's a 13-year incumbent. She's got a pretty good win-loss record. But I think Fred Wellman's boosters would say that voters have really soured on the Republican in the White House over the economy, the Iran war, that sort of thing, and there could be some trickle down to Ann Wagner. So the idea being that if she's ever going to get beat, it's probably going to be this year, just because she's sort of, whether she likes it or not, she's got to kind of answer for the president, whose own popularity is going downward.
Yeah. Well, all interesting stories once again, Ryan. And you can follow Ryan's stories and even more online at stlmag.com. Thanks, Ryan. We'll chat next week.
Hey, looking forward to it.
Galmish & Sons have been providing quality heating and cooling services since 1950. They work exclusively with Lennox, the preferred choice of St. Louis homeowners. Call Galmish & Sons for your next Lennox HVAC installation and service. 314-993-1110.
All right, so we were talking about that robot earlier, and Bob said that he wants the robot to stain his deck. Well, that's great, but how much does the robot cost? And I bet you could probably call Ruffino's Painting and get them to stain your deck for less than the price of the robot.
Call them.
And not to mention the fact that the robot doesn't really exist yet. We'll see when they roll. Yeah, that whole thing. We'll see when they roll it out and he starts walking around. But as of right now, if you need your deck stained, you call Ruffino's Painting. 636-655-0820. Mike Ruffino is a friend of mine. He's a friend of the station. He's a friend of this show. He's a friend of the yard sale. He calls in the yard sale all the time, looking for stuff for the business. RuffinosPainting.com is the website. And not only can they stain your deck, but they can paint your house. They can paint the inside of your house. They can paint your business. They can paint anything that needs painting. RuffinosPainting.com, 636-655-0820.
Dr. Joe, it can get very confusing, but the one thing we need to know is GLP-1.
These medications are used, these GLP-1s, for reducing inflammation in your body. I get so many folks that are like, wow, I don't have the knee pain.
Talk about the deals for KTRS listeners at STLMedWeightLoss.com.
All KTRS listeners, they get $50 to $100 off their first month. We make this work for you and really start feeling like the old you.
None better than to call STLMedWeightLoss.com and ask Dr. Joe. STLMedWeightLoss.com.
John Beal Roofing has been proudly serving homeowners and businesses in the St. Louis metro area on both sides of the river in Missouri and Illinois for over 3 generations. A dependable roof begins with a team you can count on, and that's exactly what you get with John Beal Roofing. Recognized as one of Roofing Contractor Magazine's top 100 roofing companies, John Beal Roofing offers 24/7 emergency service and industry-leading warranties, including a lifetime workmanship warranty for total peace of mind. From upgrading an aging roof or completing a full replacement, the team at John Beal Roofing delivers solutions that are built to code, built to last, and handled with expert care. John Beal also responds quickly with reliable storm damage services backed by decades of experience and 24/7 emergency support. Get started today for expert service and a free, no obligation estimate by calling 1-800-NEW-ROOF. That's 1-800-NEW-ROOF.
Jill Farmer from Premier Heating and Cooling. Summer in St. Louis means your air conditioner basically clocks in with a full-time job. And if your AC is 15, 20, or maybe even 25 years old, it could be working a whole lot harder and costing you a whole lot more than it should. A newer, high-efficiency system from Premier Heating and Cooling can cut cooling costs dramatically compared to older units. In some homes, upgrading from a 20-year-old air conditioner to a modern, high-efficiency system can reduce energy use by 20 to 40%. And even a professional clean and check tune-up can improve efficiency, airflow, and help your system keep up during brutal heat waves. Add in a smart thermostat, and the Department of Energy says homeowners can save another 10% a year on heating and cooling costs. So before your old AC taps out during the hottest week of the summer, call the highly trained team at Premier Heating and Cooling. Financing options available. 636-916-1122. PremierHeatingCooling.net. Comfort you can count on.
Due to the overwhelming success of Country Club Car Wash's summer sparkler promotion, they're extending it until further notice. At Country Club Car Wash, make sure it says country, you can buy 2 Ultimate washes and get 2 free. That's a total of 4 Ultimate exterior washes for only $52 at Country Club Car Wash. Or $92 gets you 4 Ultimate exterior washes and 4 interior cleanings. Available in-store or online, cccwstl.com. Country Club Car Wash, cccwstl.com/summer-sparkler. cccwstl.com.
Dow Bennett is proud to support the local fight against cancer. They are a proud sponsor of the 16th annual Radiothon to support the St. Louis Men's Group Against Cancer, a St. Louis Community Cancer Resource Center, and the only organization that brings the entire local cancer community together. Dow Bennett also supports the Susan G. Komen Breast Cancer Foundation, whose mission is to save lives by meeting the most critical needs of our communities and investing in breakthrough research to prevent and cure breast cancer.
When you go to the dentist, you actually want to be seen by the dentist. When you go to Dr. Bowen, his bedside manner is right there. That's why he's been dubbed Dr. Velvet Hands, with its teeth whitening, teeth cleaning, Invisalign, and yes, dental implants. When you go to corporate dentists, you meet with the finance person. Not at Dr. Bowen. You're meeting with the dentist himself, who can help you every single step of the way. So for all of your dental needs, including implants, Dr. Bowen. 2 locations in South County and in North County. Bowen Dental Care, or simply securedentures.com.
You're listening to the Heidi Glaus Show with Josh Gilbert and Bob Ramsey on the Big 550 KTRS.
I'm all out of salt. I'm not gonna cry. Won't give you what you want, 'cause I look way too good tonight. I'm all out of salt. Tears are running dry. Won't give you what you want, 'cause
Somebody on the text line said, did she just say salt water? Tell me more. I mentioned that each morning when I get up, I have a little salt water, but it's not just your regular table salt. It's Himalayan sea salt. And so you probably know that when you sleep at night, your body naturally loses water. So adding a pinch of Himalayan sea salt contains essential electrolytes, sodium, potassium, magnesium, and it kind of shuttles water directly into your cells faster than just having a little water alone. It also, if you combine warm water with the salt, it acts like a gentle wake-up call for your gastrointestinal tract. So the chloride in the salt helps produce a little hydrochloric acid, priming the stomach to break down maybe your breakfast, and reduces a little bit of bloating. It just kind of starts your innards a little bit on the right foot.
We've gone to Himalayan pink salt.
Yes,
same thing.
same thing.
Yeah,
that's exactly what it is.
That's the only salt I use, except for popcorn. Then I use popcorn salt.
Yeah,
but
it's a little saltier. Like if you're going to use it to put, on your, let's say, French fries or baked potato, it does taste a little saltier than your actual table salt. Yeah.
So I love it.
But again, if you're a daily coffee drinker, if you start your morning hydrated with these extra electrolytes, it creates a buffer to offset maybe being a little jittery, even the dehydrating effects of your caffeine on an empty stomach. It just kind of sets you in a little bit better place. So that's what I do.
I'll try that.
And I learned that from Premier U. You guys know that I've been using them for a while now. 23 pounds ago
really?
is when I first sat down with them.
Oh my God, I need to make a phone call. So I've always drank Gatorade. And then when everybody started drinking this Pedialyte stuff, I was very scared of it because I thought it was, for sick kids.
Pedialyte?
I thought it was like medicine, for sick kids.
Basically, Gatorade.
Is this another?
Josh just learned.
Okay.
And so I asked, I said, well, what does it taste like? And someone said, oh, kind of salty.
Yeah, salt water.
And then I realized that, everybody vilifies salt because of...
Some salt is good.
They used to.
Yes.
Those that are aware don't anymore.
No.
Yeah. But it does taste salty. Pedialyte does taste salty. Gatorade does taste
For
a little
reason.
salty. And it's probably because there's salt in it, or at least sodium.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that helps electrolytes. That helps.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Does salt dry you out? Why can't we drink salt water from the ocean, though?
Not the same.
It's not the same?
Mm-mm.
The days when I was young, I'm not a kid anymore. But some days I sit and wish I was a kid again.
Well, Heidi and Bob back in the day on this date, August 10th. I've been waiting to say this. 1821, the Show Me State, Missouri, became the 24th state in the union.
Do you remember that? Like your birthday's coming up in a couple of days. Do you tie that in? Because I had no idea it was on this day.
My birthday's on Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
I did not know until today that this is
Okay.
the day. Yes, until just now.
And that all gets down to the Missouri Compromise and all that stuff. It's a little complicated.
And Maine is involved, even though they became a state a year earlier than we did. It's weird.
It is weird.
But Maine
Politics.
came into the Union as a free state, and Missouri came in the Union as a slave state to balance out.
To balance it out. Probably was a little early. Had not those things been there, might have been a while before Missouri became a state. Another few years.
Maybe.
Possibly. 1846, Congress chartered the Smithsonian Institute. It was named in honor of English scientist Joseph Smithson,
Really?
who donated $500,000 to make it possible. I believe CBS Sunday Morning did a piece on this. He never set foot in the United States
So why is it named after him?
because he donated the $500,000 to start it.
Wow. Okay.
So they named it after
A while
him.
back, too. So it was
Yeah.
a
A
lot,
lot of money at that point.
So, but he never even came here. You know, it's weird. Our
He finds
biggest,
museums boring.
our biggest cultural institution in the United States was founded by an Englishman. And then in 1977, David Berkowitz was arrested and accused of being the son of Sam. And in 2002, Nicolas Cage married Lisa Marie Presley.
That didn't last long.
On this date, it did not. They filed for divorce by Thanksgiving. So what is that, 3 months?
Yeah.
I give it 3 months.
It's so interesting. You know, if history is your thing, you can read all about it at the St. Louis County Library, just book after book. Doesn't matter what thing, topic, subject that you're really into, you're going to find a book at the St. Louis County Library branches, and probably a lot of books that you're going to absolutely love. But the library does so much more than just offer you books. I mean, you can actually check out all sorts of things in the Library of Things, which is a unique collection of non-traditional library items like musical instruments or binoculars or even pickleball equipment. You can also check out the Teen Creative Lab that's there at the Clark Family Branch, or the Emerson History and Genealogy Center, where you can dig into your own story. You can check it all out at slcl.org. All right, 9 minutes before 5 o'clock. Joe, how's traffic?
Yeah, we have a couple of accidents here. There's an accident on 255 East at Jefferson Barracks Bridge that is causing heavy congestion with stop-and-go traffic. There's also an accident on 70 East between Jennings Station Road and Riverview causing stop-and-go traffic. We have light traffic on 64 East between McKnight and Hanley Road. And there's slow-moving traffic on 270 South between Big Bend and Graveway. From the KTRS Traffic Center, I'm Joe Davis on the Big 550 KTRS.
Yesterday, Israel rejected a deal announced by President Trump for Gaza. Jordana Miller, ABC News correspondent in Jerusalem, joins us with the latest from the Middle East. What do we know today, Jordana?
Well, it looks like the Israeli prime minister, in kind of a surprise move, publicly said that Israel opposes the 15-point plan. Remember, this is an outgrowth of President Trump's 20-point plan. It is led by Nikolai Mladenov. That's the diplomat who's kind of overseeing Israel's or Gaza's transition after the war. And, you know, the prime minister was supposed to, many of us and many insiders thought the prime minister was going to voice support for that plan. Mladenov was just here in Jerusalem, and he'd even, you know, posted publicly to kind of allay people's fears here that the Israeli army would not be withdrawing from any part of the Gaza Strip until Hamas was disarmed. But I think for political reasons, the election coming up, for example, I think Netanyahu decided that he was going to publicly say that he opposes the 15-point plan because, you know, resisting any withdrawal of Israeli troops from Gaza will be welcomed by his right-wing base, and he's really trying to turn out his base. He's doing pretty badly in the polls here. His governing coalition has, consistently being beat by the opposition coalition. And even one-on-one, he's been losing a lot of ground to a former man that ran the Israeli army for him. So I think most of this was a real political move and so I think it should be taken with a grain of salt. On the ground, I think we will see Netanyahu move forward with the 15-point plan. He doesn't really have a choice because that's what President Trump wants. So he may argue about a few things. He doesn't want Turkey involved. He doesn't want Qatar involved. But he is going to have to slowly cede piece by piece parts of Gaza so that it can be swept of Hamas and really rebuilt.
Yeah, so they're not even close to thinking about who and how would rebuild Gaza, correct?
No, there are plans, even a first kind of detailed plan, really, to rebuild, for example, Rafah, the southern city of Rafah. That looks like it's going to be the first town rebuilt. And it's going to take money from the Gulf countries, from the United States. But I think first, before they can lay the first brick, if you will, they need to set up the technocratic government, the new government that's going to, which will be really in charge of Gaza, and get in the new police force and the new stabilization force, the international force. And once those are in place, I think, and settled in, then I think they'll be able to start building. But of course, the thorniest issue remains, disarming Hamas and how to do that, how to verify it. And from what's emerging, especially from Ladnov himself, he gave a very extensive interview to one of Israel's news channels over the weekend. And it sounds a lot like the pilot projects that we've seen in Lebanon. That is, the Israeli army moves out of a couple spots that have already been cleared of Hezbollah, and in this case, a couple places that would be cleared of Hamas. And then, the police force and the other security forces come in and hold it for a while, and then little by little, more and more, that is piecemeal, while the Israeli army withdraws, a new security system takes over. The question, I think, for the Israelis, and I think one of the things Netanyahu is having a problem with, is he really wanted to see all of Gaza, the part that Hamas is holding, the 40% or so. He wants to see all of those arms put away or handed over before the Israelis withdraw. But instead, it looks like it's going to be this gradual process, which will leave arms in the hand of Hamas in some places, right?
Yeah.
And if you don't finish the job, then you haven't, right? Then there'll be areas where Hamas will still have tunnels and heavy weapons, etc.
Yeah, it's a big job. Where do we stand on the Strait of Hormuz?
Wow, well, bad news to report really on the Strait of Hormuz. After days in which we thought we might be really close to a deal between Iran and Oman on reopening the strait and sharing the lanes, and we could move on to more negotiations, Iran surprised everyone this weekend by suddenly making really steep demands just to reopen the Strait of Hormuz. The kind of demands that Iran had put on the table for discussing limitations on its nuclear weapons program. Now, the nuclear issue, nowhere to be seen, and the Iranians are saying, if you want to see the strait open, then the U.S. is going to have to lift sanctions, unfreeze assets, pay reparations, declare an absolute end to the war, lift the naval blockade. I mean, that is a high, high bar for just opening the strait. And so I think we're back to, we're back to basically being stuck with the Strait of Hormuz, essentially. 10 vessels got through on Sunday, not a lot. It's essentially closed.
How is it closed? Like if a ship comes up and starts going through,
Right. So the U.S. CENTCOM, the U.S. Navy is stopping. They've stopped over 50 or 60 vessels that were trying to get into the Strait of Hormuz or come out, and they had to turn around. They've disabled 2, and they boarded 2 others. So it's close to 60 ships in this new phase of the blockade. And then, where the U.S. Navy can help some ships come out along the Omani route, that southern route. We're seeing a few ships each day make it out that way. But again, 10 vessels crossing is nothing compared to 120 before the war. That's why I say it's essentially still shut.
Yeah. Well, Jordana, as always, we appreciate your insight. Thank you so much, and stay safe.
Talk soon.
Let's talk about high school for just a moment, because that young man you brought home from the hospital yesterday, you're going to blink your eyes, and all of a sudden now you start talking about high schools. Well, that's where St. Mary's Southside Catholic High School comes in, because it's an all-boys, independent Catholic high school. And what St. Mary's will do is they will prepare your son to be the future. Whether it's college, trade work, or a career of their choice, St. Mary's, over the years, has produced a whole lot of millionaires and a couple of billionaires along the way. And when you graduate from St. Mary's, you have that alumni as a resource. Schedule your visit today and find out more about St. Mary's. stmaryshs.com. That's stmaryshs.com. They will teach the skills that are needed to thrive and survive in the 21st century, as well as teaching old school values. To find out more, stmaryshs.com. That's stmaryshs.com.
From ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. More than 100 people are confirmed dead in western Colombia following a major earthquake. Rescue operations underway in the city of Cali, where 20 buildings have collapsed. ABC's Lama Hassan has more.
Posting on social media, the governor of Choco region, where the epicenter of the quake is, she says that there are injuries and severe damage to some buildings, adding that they are now concerned about aftershocks. And of course, don't forget that this comes after those recent deadly twin earthquakes that hit neighboring Venezuela that has killed more than 6,100 people.
Talks between the U.S. and Iran remain stalled over the Strait of Hormuz. Iran demanding the U.S. lift the naval blockade and pay reparations. President Trump now saying that Iran should pay for decades of terrorist acts. President Trump signing an executive order recommending childhood vaccine schedules for the measles, mumps, and rubella, also known as MMR, to be split in 3 separate shots. The president expressing claims, he says, over autism concerns. ABC News medical contributor Dr. Darian Sutton says leading medical groups are pushing back on the risk.
The American Academy of Pediatrics has stated that giving routine vaccinations simultaneously is safe and effective, and the adverse events as well as the negative side effects essentially from these vaccinations is comparable to giving them separately. So that inherently helps you to understand that giving a vaccination separately does not provide additional benefit to a patient, does not provide additional safety to a patient.
More than 100 wildfires burning across the U.S. ABC News meteorologist Samara Theodore.
From Bakersfield to Redding, California, right on up to Idaho Falls into the Texas Panhandle, we have single-digit humidity and gust up to 40 miles per hour. That is a recipe for wildfires. The smoke from these fires is going to diminish the air quality for places like Spokane, Walla Walla, Boise, Denver.
You're listening to ABC News.
Here he comes.
It's Julie Buck for my friends at Capital Advisory Group. Jeff Zufall is the senior tax strategist and wealth advisor at Capital Advisory Group. #1 best-selling books, I might add, and it's all about taxes. Keep what's yours and keeping what's yours. We celebrate our nation's 250 years of independence. Small business owners understand the freedom and the independence that comes from owning your own business. And Jeff Zufall and his team at Capital Advisory Group are celebrating 50 years, helping small businesses maintain their independence by minimizing the financial risk to their business, reducing their tax liability, and growing their wealth with strategic tax planning. If you're relying on investment advice from someone who isn't familiar and feel you might be paying more than your fair share of taxes, then call Jeff and his team. They can help you. Here's the number. It's 636-394-5524. 636-394-5524, or go to their website. It's capitaladvisorygrp.com.
Good afternoon. It's 5:03 and 93 degrees at Westport Plaza. I'm Brendan Weesey, and here's the latest from the KTRS newsroom. That extreme heat warning continues for St. Louis through Wednesday night. High temperatures combined with the humidity making for a tough go to be outside this afternoon. Now, rain kept the heat at bay earlier this morning, but after the showers and thunder showers moved out, the temperatures started to skyrocket. We'll detail that full forecast coming up here in just a few moments. Habitat for Humanity has announced plans to break ground on a 40-home development along Evans Avenue in the Vandeventer neighborhood. KTRS's David Solomon has the details.
The project, which will be built on city-owned land, will receive $17 million in New Markets tax credits. Habitat for Humanity CEO Kimberly McKinney tells the St. Louis Business Journal that the organization started having conversations with the St. Louis Development Corporation about the proposed project last year before a tornado struck North St. Louis on May 16th. McKinney says the tornado damaged or destroyed about 5,000 structures, further exacerbating the need for affordable housing. The first phase of construction, consisting of 10 to 15 homes, is expected to be complete in the second quarter of next year. David Solomon, KTRS News.
Our Mizzou insider Eli Hoff broke the news this morning on STLtoday.com of a death back in the spring at the Memorial Stadium construction site in Columbia. 44-year-old Corey Suter, a foreman for an electrical company working on the North End Zone project, died on June the 10th. The exact circumstances surrounding the death are unknown, but OSHA has opened up an investigation. Cardinals fans can breathe a little easier when attending a game downtown. Busch Stadium ranks 12th in the big leagues for cleanest air this summer. The study came from sports platform The Lines, which tracked hourly fine particulate pollution across all 30 MLB ballparks throughout July and surveyed 3,000 baseball fans nationwide. The survey found 22% of Cardinals fans would still attend the games, clean air or not. This KTRS Business Minute is brought to you by Walter Knoll Florist, the place for all your floral needs. Place your order anytime at WKF.com. Illinois is growing its international business relationships. Governor J.B. Pritzker and other state leaders were joined by officials to announce a new agreement between the state and the Republic of Indonesia. The deal will focus on expanding trade, opening new markets for Illinois farmers, and strengthening cooperation across business, education, and workforce development. In 2024, Illinois exported more than $715 million to Indonesia, which is the largest economy in Southeast Asia. A check on the markets now presented by JBL Financial. Tune in for Straight Talk on Retirement, Saturdays from 9 until 11 here on the Big 550. Dow closed down 60 points at 53,975. S&P 500 down 4 at 77.53, and the NASDAQ down 85 at 26,605. To the Royal Banks of Missouri Sports Desk we go, where the Cardinals welcome the Phils to Busch this evening. Birds begin the night 3.5 games behind Philly for the final wild card spot in the National League. Let's get a check on the roads now and find Joe Davis. He's filling in for the good captain, Paul Kopsky, this afternoon. Hello, Joe.
Hey, Brendan. I have a couple of updates on some accidents and a couple trouble spots here. We have an accident on 70 East at Goodfellow. Traffic is stopped back to Lucas and Hunt. There's an accident on 255 East at Jefferson Barracks Bridge that has the left lane blocked and traffic is stopped back to Coke Road. There's heavy congestion on 64 East between McKnight and Hanley Road. And there's light traffic in Lake St. Louis on 64 West between 364 and 70. This traffic report was brought to you by Stages St. Louis. Get your single season tickets for Stages St. Louis. Take a trip back to the 40s and 50s with Guys and Dolls, which runs through August 23rd. Stages will wrap up this year with the incredible true story of Come From Away. Call 314-821-2407 or visit stagesstlouis.org. From the KTRS Traffic Center, I'm Joe Davis on the Big 550 KTRS.
Thank you, Joe. Let's check out that forecast. Extreme heat warning. It's in effect through Wednesday night for now. We'll see if that's not extended. We'll have a low temperature tonight under partly cloudy skies of about 78 degrees. Tomorrow, hot, humid. We'll have highs in the upper 90s. Better shot at maybe some rain Wednesday or Thursday, although those chances appear to be diminishing slightly with some of the latest forecasts. At 5:08, we have 93 degrees and mostly cloudy skies at Westport Plaza with a heat index of 107. For the Talk of St. Louis, I'm Brendan Wiese on the Big 550 KTRS.
Are you looking for a deck? I am. And you know who I turn to? Outdoor Living and Pat Leahy. They've been a sponsor for a long time, and they've done some other projects for me, but this one's the big one. It's going to have metal framing, composite decking, and when it's all said and done, he's going to put a 50-year warranty on it. Not because I'm his spokesperson for all these years, but because I am a customer. Outdoor Living takes care of St. Louis, so if you're looking for a deck that will survive the heat and the winter and the sun and everything else, Outdoor Living, Big Bend and I-44 in Kirkwood. Outdoor Living, or OutdoorLivingInc.com.
Worldwide Technology Raceway is the only track in America to host a NASCAR event, an IndyCar event, and an NHRA event. The Raceway features a full schedule on their drag strip, oval track, and Gateway Kartplex. For full schedule and ticket info, go online to WWTRaceway.com. The track, under the leadership of owner Curtis Francois, continues to upgrade the race experience for fans who come from around the country. For tickets, go to WWTRaceway.com.
That's WWTRaceway.com.
When you want to send flowers to a loved one for a birthday, anniversary, or that special occasion, call your friends at Walter Knoll Florist. Walter Knoll is family-owned and operated and offers custom designs by expert designers. A huge inventory and selection that only the largest florist can offer, with quality and care that no grocery store florist can meet. They have several locations in the St. Louis metro area to serve you. Order online today at WKF.com. That's WKF.com. Walter Knoll Florist, your personal florist since 1883.
You're listening to the Heidi Glaus Show
With Josh Gilbert and Bob Ramsey
on the Big 550 KTRS.
Oh, it's going to be a great night. Lionel Richie is coming to the Muni. But before we get to that, there are 2 musicals left in the 108th Muni season. Kofi Coleman, president and CEO, joins us with a look at everything that's left. Kofi, the season has been amazing, don't you think?
Yes, thank you, Heidi. I have loved it. I think every year I'm like, oh, this is my favorite season. Then we get to the next one and I feel it again. This truly has been unbelievable. It's a joyous season. We said that in the beginning, and it's really lived up to those expectations. So I couldn't be prouder and happier of the team, of the institution. It's just been a fun summer. It feels like it's flying by until I think all the way back to Hairspray, then I realize it has not flown by. We've had a lot of magical nights together here.
Yeah, Meet Me in St. Louis is on stage now through Thursday. Tell us about that show. I mean, obviously it's a Muni favorite.
It is, and the crowds have responded in the appropriate way. There have been great houses every night. Yeah, I mean, it's a show about St. Louis and all the things we love about this town and why it's hard to move away and why we love being here. So to watch a show about your city, in your city, it's about Forest Park, it's about a family, it's about tradition, it's about generations. It's all those things that I think define not just our city, but this theater. So yeah, it is a fan favorite. If we could do it every other year and get away with it, I would. People would they'd start talking about us. But it's been great. It's just been someone said to me yesterday on the walk at the end of the show that it feels like a true love letter to this city, and I couldn't think of a better way to describe it.
Yeah, and Tony Award winner Beth Level is in Meet Me in St. Louis. She's also the 2026 inductee into the Muni Hall of Fame, which I'm not sure everybody understands that you guys have. It's incredible.
Yeah, Beth is truly a legend here. She's had I think 4-decade career here. And yeah, the Hall of Fame, so as you're walking up toward the theater, those little gold outline plaques along the pergola, and it just lists people who have had some impact here at the Muni. Large people who have had an impact here, some people who've had an impact on the business of musical theater as a whole. But Beth is certainly amongst the list of people who have had a storied career and legendary in our state. So we're excited to induct her into that Hall of Fame. She is, well, I would say one of many who, coming up in these years, we really have the opportunity to recognize the outstanding work that they've done here.
This might be a challenge, but I think it's a good one. And that is, you know, I like to kind of go inside baseball on stuff. And so has there been a moment during this season, and I know there's a few weeks left, but this season where maybe everything's come together, or there's a moment where one of the stars reaches out to you and says what a great, you know, experience they had, or a night where the show, the crowd, the weather, everything came out to where you would say it's an absolute 10?
I get the question. Let me see. Do I only have to pick one?
You can give me your top. Give me your top couple.
Okay, the top couple. Okay, so we had during Ain't Too Proud, Otis, the only surviving member of the original Temptation group here, and seeing him here for the first night was exciting. Seeing him here for a second night, because we did a little interview with him before the show, and he was talking to some of our board and some of our donors just about what it meant to watch a story of his life, about his life, to watch it in person and see it done so well. And obviously he's seen the musical in other places, but he spoke so highly of this production and with so much love for the cast. That was like
nice.
You can't beat. Like, we're doing a show about the Temptations, and one of them is here. You know, you can't beat that. We've had some outstanding weather nights. You said it's just the perfect night. We had one. The closing night of Shrek was unbelievable. Closing night of Newsies. That's the one I'm thinking about. Closing night of Newsies was like, you know, it's 73.5 degrees or something outside, and it's just great. So we've had a few of those. And then we've had some of the, like, you know, those muni moments, like What's Going On, where it's like halfway raining, but not really raining, but it's raining too much to have a show. So all that's part of it. But in that sense, it's been great. You mentioned the cast members. I think when you're doing a show, you're doing a season that has shows that are really driven by the theme of like joy and love and happiness, that permeates even off stage. So you walk around backstage, you can feel that general feeling from people. It's a happy campus. It's a great place. And I think we are really fortunate to have the ability and the resources and the audience that demands that we do a great job, and you can feel proud of it. I think if I just sum it all up, there's just a lot to feel proud of from my standpoint, but I hope the same for the audience and the community, because it is their theater.
Love it.
You know, Kofi, you've been with the Muni for almost half your entire life, so you've seen a lot. We've had you on the show a number of times, but while you were talking there, I just thought, what is the weirdest thing that in your years that might have interrupted a production? I mean, it's outdoors, so there's
I've
rain.
got one in my head, Kofi, right now. But
there's rain.
So this tornadoes. This is season. Okay. This is season 26 for me.
Wow.
I just want to say on the air, that is more than half of my life. That's significantly more than half of my life. For anyone doing the math out there,
good for you.
That's more than half. Okay.
Yeah.
That's more than half.
But like we have cicadas. What
June
happens?
bugs.
Yeah. What happens when the
So
cicadas?
during I think it was Addams Family a few years ago, we had a raccoon that got loose in the audience, which happens more often than you think. However, this one was in like the middle of the theater in the second act where people couldn't see what it was. So something furry was running over their legs. We had to stop the show, turn the lights on. I pretended to go up there to try to catch it. I had no intention of catching it whatsoever. I was just it was all optics. But we've got some really brave stage hands. If you're listening to this, James, you're the GOAT. But we got that raccoon and all of his cousins out of here. So that's high. That's high on the list.
Okay.
A cat ran across stage during Ain't Too Proud, too.
Really? Okay,
Yeah.
here's the one that I remember. A funny thing happened on the way to the Forum. Do you remember what happened in 2017?
When we had to change leads?
Yes.
Yes.
What happened?
Peter Scolari, right?
Yeah, he left. And then
Bosom buddies.
Schechter, right?
Yeah.
Shecky, we called him. I think it's his first name, Jeffrey. I don't know what his first name is. We called him Shecky the whole time. Stepped in and he was holding the script,
yeah.
right? He was, that one. God, what year was that?
It was 2017, I think, because it was. I was still doing TV, and I had actually done an interview with Peter the week before that was going to air on that Monday morning opening night.
Yeah.
And I don't remember if you called me. I was at my parents' lake house.
Yeah.
And you're like, I hate to do this on a Saturday or Sunday. And you're like,
it was Sunday. It was. I remember distinctly.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you're like, you can't run this story. And I'm like, okay. But he had like an allergic reaction and could not handle all the cottonwood, is what I recall.
That was when we had all these cottonwoods. Now the cottonwoods, through Mother Nature herself, we did not deliberately do this, but we might have asked Mother Nature nicely. But a lot of those cottonwoods are not here, or definitely not adjacent to the rehearsal platform anymore, which is good.
So a lot of crazy things.
If you have allergies, and as I do, this is not
the place,
this is not
right?
for you.
No,
not for you to rehearse. For an audience member, it's still wonderful.
Yes, absolutely. I want to go back 1 second to the Hall of Fame because there are some incredible people in the Hall of Fame. Bob Hope, for one. Isn't Cary Grant in the Hall of Fame?
Cary Grant is in the Hall. Yeah, absolutely. Yul Brynner. There are a lot of great names out there. And then, some of our previous presidents, Paul Weissman's name is out there. Andrew Lloyd Webber is there. So, it's a list. Pearl Bailey, that's a great another great name. She's out there. So Irving Berlin. The list goes on. So there are some great names. And people that, as we go back a few generations, will remember having seen some of these folks even on our stage at one point.
Yeah, I love that. People might not know John Travolta was on that stage at some point.
Bob Hope? Did we say Bob Hope?
Bob Hope, yeah. All right, let's go next up, a first for the Muni, Something Rotten, which I think is just a super fun show, but maybe not everybody knows it.
No, so it's a comedy set in the Shakespearean time, a musical about making musicals is the best way I can say it. And these, called the Bottom Brothers, are two brothers, and they're trying to write the first play with songs in it, which they will call a musical. And they try to beat out the then entertainment king William Shakespeare. So it's hilarious.
Yeah, it's really funny.
Yeah, if you're a theater fan, it is just chock full of theater inside jokes and theater references. So it's a great time.
Yeah,
I've watched bits of rehearsal and just a lot of laughter.
So, and then once again, before the gates close, a legend is going to take the stage.
Mr. Lionel Richie is joining us to close our summer.
Yeah, it's going to be amazing. And what do you expect from him? I mean, last year was Diana Ross, which was incredible. You had John Legend. I mean, it's like you just kind of keep going up and up and up. I mean, Lionel Richie is fantastic.
Lionel's exciting, and one of the things we try to do, whether it's the theater season or the concerts, I think one of the things that's important here is that when you come to a night, there's this concept of generations together that happens when you see a show at the Muni. And someone asked me recently what my favorite Lionel Richie songs were, and I was reading. I'm like, and I'm listening to "Say You, Say Me," and I realized that's a song. My mother has sang that song and hummed it since I was a child. I don't even know. My parents are immigrants. They didn't grow up with Lionel Richie, but that's one of the first albums my dad had as a vinyl, and my mom. So I've been listening to Lionel Richie, not from the original artist, but from the artist known as my mother, singing Lionel songs for a long time. But it's that concept. I think there's people my age who remember these songs just not from their own lives, but from their parents and their childhood. And the ability to have a night or a concert night that brings people together that same way as it does when we do theater is part of what we're looking for when we build our concert lineup.
And so when you or your people, whoever, I know you have your hands in so many things, reaches out to somebody like Lionel Richie, is he aware that we have this, large outdoor theater under the stars?
Yeah, we are clear about who we are when we reach out. We have a great team to help produce. Some of our internal team and a good friend of mine, Mike Van Hee, and a lot of other people were part of this team to bring the concerts together. But we have a little one-pager. We sent it to John Legend and Diana Ross and John Baptiste and now Lionel, just about who we are. And because we're an oddly small theater venue for a big artist, but a big venue for a small artist. So we really fit a pocket right in the middle. So explaining who we are and the history and the relationship with artists that have come before is important. And I think it's a selling point. It seems to help.
You know, and working with Heidi these last 2 years plus and all the Muni things we do and the actors we get to visit with, the Muni is a special place to actors who, you know, young, not always young, but younger working actors, touring working actors. They know about the Muni, and it is a privilege when they come here to work at the Muni. And I think that's got to be an unbelievable legacy for you.
It is. It's humbling. That's probably the best word for it is when you see people, like you said, young actors who are beginning their career or people who have earned it, who are Hall of Fame worthy or whatnot. And they're saying that this is a place I've always wanted to be. You know, when that happens, Richard Kind was in Hairspray. He reached out to us when we announced the season because he wanted to be here. So that kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Excitement to be here it's humbling. It reminds me that I have a responsibility to make sure this thing keeps going and keeps going well because it means a lot to people who have had careers already that don't need this, and it means a lot of hope for young people who are just starting a career and they want to get to that point sometime. So if they can start their career here and say I've already been on that stage, I hope that is the right boost of confidence that they need.
You know, that's what I was going to ask you about the music series now. You guys are making calls to people to get them to perform on the Muni stage, but has anybody reached out and said, we heard the Muni's back open again for music. Can we get our artists there next year?
We have had some reach outs. I will say for those reach outs, for the concert standpoint, that is, it's more on the ambition for their side versus bucket list. So we are, but it's still, look, we're only 2 years, well, about to be 3 years in of doing that. I think we have an easier time getting these artists because a lot of them have overlapping representation representatives. So when we do that, they know part of getting Lionel here, some of his same team overlap with Miss Ross's team. So there's a little less selling we have to do of ourselves. They know what to expect. And I'll say all 4 artists, well, 3 so far, 4 when you count Lionel, we hope is true for him too. They're so impressed with not just the community, the audience, but the facility itself. So we're in a good spot to grow this tradition as well.
Yeah, and the Muni is in great hands with you, Kofi. You've done a fantastic job. Lionel Richie will play the Muni Saturday, August 29th. You can purchase tickets at metrotix.com. You can purchase tickets for the final 2 shows, Meet Me in St. Louis and Something Rotten at the Muni box office in Forest Park, or muni.org. It's always so much fun catching up with you. Have a great day.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
I do adore him. Probably comes out in my voice when we interview him. He's just done so much. And I feel like the Muni in all of these 108 years, it just continues to get better and better. And, you know, that's the same could be said for SSM Health Cardinal Glennon Children's Hospital. They're building a new hospital right now, and it is going to have the latest and the greatest. It is going to be state of the art. And if you think about that, just you don't think that it can get any better because they're always listed in the best of the best. And now they're going to have this new facility. What's really cool about Cardinal Glennon is each year donor support from people like you and me, and of course, great companies here in St. Louis. They allow in the hospital to invest in the future of Cardinal Glennon. And that's through program enhancements and facility updates, charity care, because they're never turning a kid away, and so much more. So if you want to read some of the fantastic stories of kids who have overcome the unimaginable thanks to the great surgeons and doctors and nurses and therapists, you can do that at glennon.org. And if you want to make a donation, just say, you know what? I've done something to make sure that this place is staying open and doing all those great things. You can also do that at glennon.org.
You know, that honey-do list isn't getting any shorter, and you got to make a dent into it. Can I recommend going somewhere to helping you out? Schnarr's Hardware. Schnarr's Hardware has 2 locations, one in Webster and one in Ladue. 1 great family, 2 great hardware stores. Schnarr's Hardware. When you walk in with that list, you say, okay, I think I know how to do this one, but these 3 I need help on. And you know what? The people behind the counter at Schnarr's Hardware, that's what they do best. They have the expertise, so they can help you with electrical, help you with plumbing, painting, really anything at Schnarr's Hardware. They're small, they're compact, but it's that friendly neighborhood hardware store that has been the way it's been here in America for years, right? You remember when your grandfather took you to the hardware store. That's Schnarr's Hardware. The popcorn and the advice are free. So when you go to Schnarr's Hardware, 2 locations in Webster and in Ladue. Don't forget about the website, schnarrshardware.com. So for all of your hardware needs and that honey-do list, Schnarr's Hardware or schnarrshardware.com.
One thing, I try to do is not think about all the money I have to spend. But sometimes it goes through your head and you think, I got to buy this, I got to spend money on that. But the money that you spent on your house is probably the biggest single purchase you've ever made. So it makes sense to protect it. And you know what? There might be things going on up top there on the roof that you can't see. Allen Roofing can. They don't even have to go up there. They could send some drones up to have a look, find out the problem, give a diagnosis, sit down with you and say, what shall we do from here to protect that asset of yours that you spent all that money on? It only makes sense, whether it's a roof, whether it's siding, tuck pointing, anything to do with the outside of your house. They will help you protect it. Find them online at aroofing.net.
As we enter into the summer months, you might be thinking windows and doors. Yeah, and where are you going to go? You have lots of options when it comes to windows and doors. Let me tell you about a St. Louis company that everybody should know about. It's called WSWindow.net. It's run by Larry Thornton and his son, Joe. And they've been selling windows and doors in St. Louis for 38 years. They do most of their work with a handshake and a smile. There is no high-pressure sales. There is no jacking up the prices and then try and bring you down as they demand some type of signature on the dotted line. They'll shake your hand and say, we hope to hear from you. And they have been successful. They beat the big boys at their games for all these many years because they do it right. They have long-time installers, long-time employees. The Window Store. If you need windows, if you need doors, you want a great price, and you want to keep it in the St. Louis family. That's Larry and Joe Thornton. The Window Store. WSWindow.net. WSWindow.net.
If you or anyone you care about is facing a family legal matter, call Cordell & Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL.
There's a lot on the line in divorce. This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. Divorce touches all areas of your life: your home, savings, retirement, and of course, kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce, you need a partner you can count on.
If you or anyone you care about is facing divorce, contact Cordell & Cordell today. With over 100,000 clients served, we understand the challenges you're facing on a personal level. Call Cordell & Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL. That's 1-855-GET-LEGAL. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. 600 Kelwood, St. Louis.
I trust Pella Windows and Doors of St. Louis with my home when it matters most. They are the local experts who know our area best. For a limited time, get 20% off Pella projects. Call 833-87-PELLA or visit Pella.com/radio to learn more. Restrictions apply. See site for details.
Do you have the option to control your cash flow and wealth? Are you getting a return on your greatest asset, your lifetime and potential generational income? Overcome these critical financial planning challenges by discovering the Control Option Mindset featuring the Lifetime and Generational Income Maximizer. Call Mark Benson and his team at the Control Option at 314-432-9540 or online at thecontroloptionmindset.com.
You're listening to the Heidi Glaus Show with Josh Gilbert and Bob Ramsey on the Big 550 KTRS.
It is 5:32. Time to check back into the KTRS Traffic Center, and that's where we find Joe Davis today.
Yes, there's a couple of accidents I want to update you guys on. There's an accident on 70 East at Goodfellow that has been cleared, but traffic is still stop and go all the way back to Bermuda. The accident on 255 East, just north of Jefferson Barracks Bridge, has the left lane blocked and traffic is stopped back to Coke Road. Accident on 64 East at McKnight has been cleared, but traffic is still stop and go all the way back to Lindbergh. There's heavy traffic on 64 East between Route 157 and Route 159. From the KTRS Traffic Center, I'm Joe Davis on the Big 550 KTRS.
I saw this story and thought I had to share it because not all weddings go without a sort of hitch, I guess. Sometimes it's the flower girls or the little ring bearers that steal the show. But this bride, and I feel her pain because I feel like I've done this or something similar to it before. But she was standing at the altar, getting ready to exchange vows, and she thought that the priest was handing her a tissue, but it was kind of his, what he was wearing, how the sleeves dangled down.
Okay.
And she grabbed that and started to wipe her tear
with his
sleeve.
With his gown.
Yeah. She was emotional, and this was in Newport, Rhode Island. It all went off, and of course now it's gone viral, and everybody is weighing in.
Was that this past weekend?
I think so. Yeah.
My buddy Mike Murphy was at a wedding in Newport this past weekend.
Really? I wonder if
I'm going to call him
and
Ask
see
him if the bride blew her nose in the priest's garments.
Isn't that kind of funny? It has now more than 23 million views, and she said she never could have imagined the clip going that viral. She goes, I was absolutely shocked. We're all human. We all have embarrassing moments and make mistakes. Life is too short. Just have fun. But I feel like, I have a couple of shirts that have like a tie, like a knot on them, and then it dangles down, and I feel like I've maybe gone to blow my nose with my tissue, and then that
got it caught up
and
in
didn't
there.
really realize that that's what it was. So interesting, I thought.
Appliance Discounters is a place you need to know about, because if you're looking for an appliance, Appliance Discounters is the place to go. They're the #1 appliance store in St. Louis with 5 beautiful showrooms. When you buy an in-stock appliance from Appliance Discounters, they can deliver it to you the next day. How in the world can Appliance Discounters do this? Well, they have a 50,000 square foot warehouse filled with appliances ready for delivery. Name brand, factory warranties, and factory rebates. And don't worry about paying more if you're in a hurry. Right now at Appliance Discounters, they're offering an additional 5% off their everyday low prices. Appliance Discounters is your locally owned hometown appliance store. 12 months interest-free financing. Use their money, not yours. Huge factory rebates in addition to their everyday low prices. Why in the world would you go anywhere else? Appliance Discounters open Monday through Saturday, never on Sundays. Shop online 24/7, theappliancediscounters.com.
Jill Farmer for Premier Heating and Cooling. Summer in St. Louis means your air conditioner basically clocks in with a full-time job. And if your AC is 15, 20, or maybe even 25 years old, it could be working a whole lot harder and costing you a whole lot more than it should. A newer, high-efficiency system from Premier Heating and Cooling can cut cooling costs dramatically compared to older units. In some homes, upgrading from a 20-year-old air conditioner to a modern, high-efficiency system can reduce energy use by 20 to 40%. And even a professional clean and check tune-up can improve efficiency, airflow, and help your system keep up during brutal heat waves. Add in a smart thermostat, and the Department of Energy says homeowners can save another 10% a year on heating and cooling costs. So before your old AC taps out during the hottest week of the summer, call the highly trained team at Premier Heating and Cooling. Financing options available. 636-916-1122. PremierHeatingCooling.net. Comfort you can count on.
Due to the overwhelming success of Country Club Car Wash's summer sparkler promotion, they're extending it until further notice. At Country Club Car Wash, make sure it says country, you can buy 2 ultimate washes and get 2 free. That's a total of 4 ultimate exterior washes for only $52 at Country Club Car Wash. Or $92 gets you 4 ultimate exterior washes and 4 interior cleanings. Available in-store or online, cccwstl.com. Country Club Car Wash, cccwstl.com/summer-sparkler. cccwstl.com.
Summer is here, and it's not too late to book your next vacation or quick last-minute getaway with the travel experts at AAA Travel. AAA Travel makes vacation planning easy and stress-free with amazing deals on cruises, all-inclusive resorts, escorted tours, and family vacations. Take advantage of their great summer deals. Trips are booking up quickly, so book now to lock in better pricing and availability. Visit your local AAA travel office or go online, AAA.com/travel.
What does the Science Center, Lambert Airport, the Magic House, McDonnell Douglas, and St. Louis firehouses all have in common? They all trusted their roof to Beatty Roofing. Beatty Roofing has been in business for 70 years. They're not storm chasers. They're based right here in St. Louis, and they've been doing it right for 70-plus years. And if you need a roofer, Beatty Roofing. In fact, first responders get an extra 10% off all roofs. 314-892-1331 or online, BeattyRoofing.com.
Listen up. If you have not paid self-employment, business, or individual taxes in years, the IRS will find you. Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. I offer real solutions. If you have unfiled returns, unpaid taxes, levies, or liens, call me, Lance Story, today and let me get between you and the IRS. I'll protect your rights, including your right to appeal or even your right to take the IRS to tax court. At the Lance Story Law Firm, our practice is focused 100% on fighting the IRS. Remember, IRS problems are legal problems, and they need to be handled by an expert attorney who's done it for decades. So call the Lance Story Law Firm today. We're local. Our office is right here in St. Louis. Call 314-260-6120 or visit LanceDruryLaw.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
You're listening to the Heidi Glaus Show with Josh Gilbert and Bob Ramsey on the Big 550 KTRS.
Let's do some entertainment news. And first up, we're talking about one of St. Louis's favorite sons. Jon Hamm is going to be a dad. He's expecting his first baby with his wife, Anna Osceola. The two got married back in June of 2023. And I think he's pretty vocal about wanting to have kids. So that's pretty cool. And while we're talking babies, Parks and Rec alum Aubrey Plaza just gave birth to her first child, a baby girl.
I like her.
Brad Pitt revealed in an interview with Esquire that came out today, he broke his sobriety after 7 years. His sobriety came up after he offered the interviewer some wine during their sit-down at his $12 million LA home. He said, I can have a few glasses of wine, but I can't have a lot. He quit drinking after an alleged 2016 drunken plane incident that is said to have contributed to the downfall of his and Angelina Jolie's marriage. Elsewhere in the interview, he said that he felt suicidal while navigating one little period of the family stuff. He said the pain was so oppressive that I wasn't going to act on this, but I could feel, like he says, the cold steel of a bullet in my head, and it felt like relief. So thankfully he got some help and he's in a better place.
Well, that's all pretty scary.
It really is, especially when you're going through something like that. Carly Simon seemingly shaded her estranged ex-husband, James Taylor, in a biting new song from her first album of original songs in 18 years. I'm looking forward to this. Comes in Waves. Her highly anticipated 24th studio album drops this Friday, and it features Maybe I Never Loved You on its second track. Here's a couple of lyrics. Maybe I never loved you, but anyway, I thought I did. I married you, we had a kid, that counts for something. Then the second verse takes a more emotional turn when she questions her feelings for an ex. Now, she never says exactly who it is, but these two were married from 72 to 83 and share 2 kids, which is interesting. A woman who moved into Jason Sudeikis' old apartment kept getting mail that had his name on it. Anyway, she did what we do now, went to social media, finally caught some people's attention. The premiere of Ted Lasso season 4, the people invited her there, and so she brought all this mail and delivered it to him personally, and he seemed to be pretty grateful.
That's awesome.
I thought so.
That's great.
Billy Strings, he's a great guitar player, was hit in the head by an object thrown by an audience member at Thursday night show. So for Friday night's performance, he walked on stage wearing a hockey helmet to kind of poke fun at the incident, and I like that.
Who throws something?
I don't know, but a lot of people have been hit lately. It's ridiculous.
It's like I go to this show to see this artist because I like them.
You don't want to hurt them.
I'm going to throw a lighter at them.
Dumb.
Yeah, I don't get it.
If you're looking for something to watch tonight, you got Dancing with the Stars, The Next Pro, American Ninja Warrior is on NBC, and then the streaming premiere of Michael on Stars. Jermaine's son Jafar stars in the movie about Michael's life and career. Miles Teller plays his on-again, off-again entertainment lawyer. It's pretty good. Pretty good.
You saw it?
I watched it a couple weekends ago and absolutely loved it. Let's do a couple birthdays.
All right, here we go. Let's start with one of my favorites from Law and Order, Rosalind Isles, Angie Harmon.
Oh,
she's great.
Love her. I'm going to say she is 54.
57.
Bang, Heidi got it. 54,
Yeah.
right on the nose. All right, let's take it up a notch. The terrific Antonio Banderas.
Ooh, 66.
I'm going to say he's 70.
Bang, Josh, 66,
Oh!
right on.
He just said that he and Melanie Griffith are still like best friends.
That's great.
I love that.
Here is the tiebreaker. 'Cause
Okay.
This is a good one today. She inspired two of the most classic jams of the 80s. The Toto mega hit, Rosanna, and In Your Eyes from Peter Gabriel, Rosanna. It's Rosanna Arquette.
She was the inspiration behind In Your Eyes.
Had a brief fling with Peter Gabriel, which inspired him to write In Your Eyes.
Was she even all that?
Oh, boy.
I need to look up a picture.
I'm going to say she's 67.
Rosanna Arquette.
Don't
What
look
was
at the
she-
date.
Yeah.
I won't look at the date. Well, I'll look at it in just a second.
Okay.
She is 60. What'd you say?
You should have been listening.
62.
Bang. We had 3 for 3 today. Heidi gets 2 of them.
Yes!
Rosanna Arquette is 67. To your point, Josh, if I had to prefer, I'm sure she's a wonderful person. I prefer her sister.
Patricia.
She's a terrific actress.
Okay, so she was in.
Well, she was in
She was in Pulp Fiction,
yeah.
but that was later on. What I mean, when
Who's
she
that
was
with all that stuff in her face? That's
she
my
was-
wife.
Yeah, but she was hooking up with Peter Gabriel.
Well, she's an Arquette. The whole family is in the business.
Desperately Seeking Susan. I'm just trying to figure out.
She was in the
Text line,
Western, one of my favorites, Silverado. She was in Silverado.
84126. Rosanna Arquette. What was her biggest role? I am curious. I'm still trying to find something. She's been working.
Yeah, forever.
Did you say Suddenly Seeking Susan?
Desperately Seeking Susan.
Desperately Seeking. Suddenly
with
Susan
Madonna.
is a TV show.
Anyway, that's your entertainment
Yes,
report.
that's what we got.
As we enter into the summer months, you might be thinking windows and doors. Yeah, and where are you going to go? You have lots of options when it comes to windows and doors. Let me tell you about a St. Louis company that everybody should know about. It's called WSWindow.net. It's run by Larry Thornton and his son, Joe. And they've been selling windows and doors in St. Louis for 38 years. They do most of their work with a handshake and a smile. There is no high-pressure sales. There is no jacking up the prices and then try and bring you down as they demand some type of signature on the dotted line. They'll shake your hand and say, "We hope to hear from you." And they have been successful. They beat the big boys at their games for all these many years because they do it right. They have long-time installers, long-time employees. The Window Store. If you need windows, if you need doors, you want a great price, and you want to keep it in the St. Louis family. That's Larry and Joe Thornton. The Window Store. WSWindow.net. WSWindow.net.
If you or anyone you care about is facing a family legal matter, call Cordell and Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL.
There's a lot on the line in divorce. This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. Divorce touches all areas of your life: your home, savings, retirement, and of course, kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce, you need a partner you can count on.
If you or anyone you care about is facing divorce, contact Cordell and Cordell today. With over 100,000 clients served, we understand the challenges you're facing on a personal level. Call Cordell and Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL. That's 1-855-GET-LEGAL. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. 600 Kelwood, St. Louis.
Hi, it's Julie Buck to tell you about a trusted family business that I've been working with for years, Easter Fence and Deck. Chuck Easter and his family have been the go-to fence and deck company in the St. Louis area for more than 70 years. And when it comes to sunrooms, Easter Fence and Deck offers the top-of-the-line Better Living sunrooms that are absolutely spectacular. When it comes to fences, decks, and sunrooms, I would invite you to do what my family has done for years and trust the family-owned Easter Fence and Deck online at easterfence.com.
What does the Science Center, Lambert Airport, the Magic House, McDonnell Douglas, and St. Louis firehouses all have in common? They all trusted their roof to Beatty Roofing. Beatty Roofing has been in business for 70 years. They're not storm chasers. They're based right here in St. Louis, and they've been doing it right for 70-plus years. And if you need a roofer, Beatty Roofing. In fact, first responders get an extra 10% off all roofs. 314-892-1331 or online, BeattyRoofing.com.
It's Julie Buck, and I wanted to pop on here just to give my friends at Rankin Jordan Pediatric Bridge Hospital some love. You know, healing goes beyond medicine. The hospital is built on a simple but powerful philosophy. Play helps children heal. Through their Care Beyond the Bedside model, kids are encouraged to leave their hospital rooms, play, explore, and simply be kids while they recover. To support Rankin Jordan's work, donate at rankinjordanfoundation.org and join us for the Beyond Gala on September 26th.
Is your job just a job, and you want to work in a rewarding career? If the answer is yes, then start your journey today by becoming a union construction craft laborer. Why wait? Visit buildunion.com to learn more about becoming a union craft laborer and starting a rewarding career in the construction industry. Build a career, build a future, build a legacy. Buildunion.com for more information.
You're listening to the Heidi Glaus Show with Josh Gilbert and Bob Ramsey on the Big 550 KTRS.
It is 10 minutes before 6 o'clock. Let's get one final check of traffic with Joe Davis today.
Yes, Heidi, we have stop-and-go traffic on 70 East between Lindbergh and Natural Bridge. There's slow traffic on 64 West between Kings Highway and McCausland. There's stop-and-go traffic on 170 South between Ladue Road and 64. And we have an accident in St. Peters that has the left lane blocked on 70 East at Highway 79. That is stop-and-go traffic all the way back to T.R. Hughes. And the accident on 255 East, just north of Jefferson Barracks Bridge, still has the left lane blocked and traffic is stopped back to Coke Road. From the KTRS Traffic Center, I'm Joe Davis on the Big 550 KTRS.
This is Mariah, third generation at Newsteaders Fine Jewelry. Buying an engagement ring can be intimidating. At Newsteaders, we ensure complete understanding of your purchase. We offer a choice in both lab and mine-grown diamonds and are able to work with any budget. Let our family help educate you on your choice at Big Bend and Doherty Ferry or at wowdiamonds.com.
Mark Lawson with Black Fox Cooper, your local Anderson certified contractor. Like you, I feel the effects of inflation every day. Costs continue to rise. That's why putting off replacing your old windows could cost you more in the future. New Anderson windows can make your home more comfortable, more energy efficient, and more beautiful, while potentially saving you more money on utility bills. At Black Fox Cooper, we specialize in Anderson replacement windows and offer a personalized educational approach we call the Window Review. Don't wait. Improve your home today. Call 314-270-1484. Online, blackfoxcooper.com.
Looking for a new kitchen or bath? Call me, Anne-Marie Bogus, the co-host of the Inside Out Show and owner and designer at Anne-Marie Design Studio. Visit our website at annemariestudio.com. We can help make your dream space into a reality. We're a fine kitchen and bath boutique located in Wildwood. We do it all, from design to bid to installation too. Call us today at 636-821-3395 or go online at annemariestudio.com. Let's make your dream kitchen or bath a reality with Anne-Marie Design Studio.
Hey, it's Julie Buck for our friends at Triad Bank. They are a full-service financial institution, and they've been in St. Louis for over 20 years with 2 locations, one at Clayton and Lindbergh, and the other one just west of 270 on Olive. If you've got your own business and you want to have a better banking experience, look no further than Triad Bank. Their mission is to provide a wide range of commercial and personal banking services to you and your business. For more, go to triadbanking.com.
Looking to redo your bath? Have we got a company for you? Jacob Baths and Showers. With us is Scott Jacob. If I just wanted to redo my bath or just the bathtub.
We focus on the wet area, but we can also address the other parts of the bathroom.
Just like the vanity and everything.
Yeah, absolutely.
What about the floor?
Absolutely.
Yeah, all of that. Explain how the overlay is problematic and how you guys are better than that.
Well, because if you're just doing overlay, the problems that are behind that drywall right now are not going away.
2 showrooms, one in Fairview Heights and one in Fenton. JacobBaths.com.
Inland Marine Boats in Barnard has been serving your boating needs for 40 years. Hi, I'm Jim, and this is my son, Ryan.
Remember, you only get 18 summers with your kids. Make the most of them with a boat from Inland Marine Boats, your Mercury Marine dealer.
You're listening to the Heidi Glaus Show with Josh Gilbert and Bob Ramsey on the Big 550 KTRS.
All right, let's wrap this Monday up, shall we, with some randoms.
All right, the Boston Tea Party, 1773, destroyed 92,000 pounds of tea, which is $1.7 million in today's money.
Yeah.
Woo! I would have stuffed a couple in my pockets, you know,
Yeah.
under my tri-corner hat.
Mhm.
Hey, let's throw this in the, hang on. Oh, you know.
Goofy.
Just a thought. The witches in Macbeth didn't really use Eye of Newt. You've heard this potion that they're making, Eye of Newt, and Eye of Newt was an ancient term for mustard seed.
Mm.
Oh, so it was mustard seed.
They're just putting mustard seed.
Okay, making it flavorful.
Yeah. I mean, you got to get somebody to drink it, right?
We're going to get the tea from
These
the
are some really random randoms.
Really random.
The first school to use a letter grade system like we have today was Mount Holyoke College in Massachusetts in 1887.
I was going to say, what did they do before that? Just to pass or fail?
I don't know. 1887. I saw a story today that for the first couple of years, they're doing pass or fail.
At University of Michigan.
Yes.
Saw it. It's
You saw
insane.
that too.
What?
I don't get it. They say,
We'll still
it's,
keep grades, but we just won't let them out. What?
it's
What
very
are you
stressful
doing?
when they're trying to transition to college life from...
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable. I mean, you guys did it. Assuming that the people on the board went to college, they did it that way. It was good enough for them.
Unbelievable.
The University of Michigan, I think for the first year or 2 years, are just doing pass-fail on a lot of subjects.
Well, I think there are other classes that do that, but not the
And I never
complete.
understood.
I think everybody's had those along the way.
I never understood the rhyme and reason for which classes do that and don't.
Yeah, I don't know what it is either. And maybe it's teacher's choice. Maybe they would prefer that instead of giving a specific grade.
I
I'm
always
not
thought it was
sure.
maybe for the easy courses.
Maybe.
If you pass, big deal. But if you fail, that's a problem.
I would think it'd be like shop. Like either the thing, you know, the paper towel holder works or it doesn't. Pass, fail.
It could be jankety though.
Yeah.
You could get a D on that. C,
Yeah.
and it
You're
still
right.
works.
It dispenses towels, but
Yeah.
very terribly.
You might cut yourself.
And the projectile vomit in The Exorcist was soup from a famous California restaurant called Pea Soup Anderson's, and it was mixed with oatmeal. They say it looked better on camera than Campbell's did.
Okay.
The restaurant, by the way,
It was gross.
closed down in 2024, so no more pea soup.
I was going to say, it wasn't right after the movie aired. No. You guys, that does it for us. Thanks so much for hanging out with us on this Monday. Hopefully you'll come back tomorrow starting at 3 o'clock. And until then, see if you can put a smile on somebody's face.
Whatever gets you through the night. It's all right. It's all right.
It's Julie Buck, and I wanted to pop on here just to give my friends at Rankin Jordan Pediatric Bridge Hospital some love. You know, healing goes beyond medicine. The hospital is built on a simple but powerful philosophy. Play helps children heal. Through their Care Beyond the Bedside model, kids are encouraged to leave their hospital rooms, play, explore, and simply be kids while they recover. To support Rankin Jordan's work, donate at rankinjordanfoundation.org and join us for the Beyond Gala on September 26th.
One thing, I try to do is not think about all the money I have to spend. But sometimes it goes through your head and you think, I got to buy this, I got to spend money on that. But the money that you spent on your house is probably the biggest single purchase you've ever made. So it makes sense to protect it. And you know what? There might be things going on up top there on the roof that you can't see. Allen Roofing can. They don't even have to go up there. They could send some drones up to have a look, find out the problem, give a diagnosis, sit down with you and say, what shall we do from here to protect that asset of yours that you spent all that money on? It only makes sense, whether it's a roof, whether it's siding, tuck pointing, anything to do with the outside of your house. They will help you protect it. Find them online at aroofing.net.
Jill Farmer for Premier Heating and Cooling. Summer in St. Louis means your air conditioner basically clocks in with a full-time job. And if your AC is 15, 20, or maybe even 25 years old, it could be working a whole lot harder and costing you a whole lot more than it should. A newer, high-efficiency system from Premier Heating and Cooling can cut cooling costs dramatically